I think I hit the start button. Okay, I think we're here. I think we're ready. I think we are set. Welcome,
Fuck
welcome,
yeah.
welcome. Yeah, everyone. Welcome. I don't know what you guys call your community. The Charliers, the
I call them baby girls because I
the
think
baby
it's funny.
girls. Okay,
Yeah, the
baby
baby
girls.
girls.
Baby
Yes.
girls, welcome to the show. Wickers, okay, welcome to the show. We're here to talk today about, because my name's Wick. Don't think anything about you. It's Wickas
All
to
right.
you, but we can use a hard R. Anyway, gang, I don't usually do React content, okay? So maybe I'm doing this wrong, but I couldn't help myself. I couldn't keep away. Ethan and Hasan, so Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker, they had a podcast together for quite a few months called Leftovers, where they had discussed all sorts of topics. After October 7th happened, there was a split between the two. They were friends, or at least co-workers, but then they stopped working with each other and began a feud that has lasted till today. And spoiler alert, gang, it's probably not going to end after today. But
No.
This is their first time talking, and Charlie has graciously agreed to join me and to kind of react to it with me. Charlie, tell people who you are, what you do, and what your knowledge of all this is. Go ahead.
Hello. I am Enemy Charlie. I'm a streamer on Twitch. My expertise is in fantasy literature, mainly Tolkien. So, but I talk about politics anyway, because why not? I know Hasanabi is like a real big streamer. I know his butt is huge, as are his boobs. And I know Ethan Klein. They used to be friends. They're not friends anymore. And they hate each other so much. And then one time, Ethan Klein was friends with Trisha Paytas, which was really funny. And then they're no longer friends. I don't know why.
I don't know all the lore about Ethan Klein. I'll be real. So this is going to be the most I have ever watched of either of these creators, whether it be Hasan or Ethan. I have not really sat down and watched a lot of their content before. I knew who they were, obviously. I know the situation from clips and from their Twitter feuds and Instagram feuds and things like that. But this is the first time that they're sitting down to talk. So I will admit to you guys, I pre-watched a little bit. I did. I couldn't help myself, right? It's still going on. It hasn't ended yet on their end. They're still having their debate, I believe. So this is going to be a long one, but we're going to try to get through it. So if at any point you want me to stop the video, just, I don't know, yell at me, raise your hand, talk, whatever, and we'll stop and we'll talk about it. But it's pretty messy. We're going to get through it. Any questions before we begin?
No, I am all good. I'm setting this up right now. I forgot to do the setup for my stream because I'm a fool.
Take your time. Take your time. We can
No. We can just start it. They'll live.
They'll live. Okay. Well,
this is kick. I don't need to have it together.
Okay.
This is kick.
Let's get this shit started then. And I think I got the start time, though it's a little unclear, the transitions here. We'll go with it from what we got.
Hasan Piker.
Hello, Hasan Piker.
Can you hear it fine, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure the audio is fine. Okay, let's keep going.
What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a debate. What about you?
That's what I'm doing as well. All right. Wait, hold on. Oh, are you going to show me all the time as well on the Zoom call?
Here, I can fix that. 1 second. Let me just set it to Ethan's output here.
If you want,
there you go.
If you want, just show not just Ethan, but yourself as well. If you're going to talk, that's fine.
Hey,
I don't know if it's gonna
Hasan,
be too difficult.
leave the production notes to my team. You can switch your show how you like.
Well, they were my coworkers as well, Ethan.
Well, it's been a while, my friends, and guess what? They are not now.
No, I know.
So let's start. So you did this content cop, right? And did that go how you expected? It didn't seem to hit very hard.
Before we get started, can I?
Just real quick, have you seen the Content Cop thing?
I have not.
Do you
I had
know
no interest in
of
it.
it or anything? Like, I'm just
There
trying to
was a
get to the
guy.
context level.
There was a guy that does not do a lot of like. He hasn't done stuff in a long time, and then he made a video, and there was like Froggen and Denims. I only know them because they're cute girls. That's it. Some other people, I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, iDubbbz, yeah, I guess him and Ethan also used to be friends.
Oh.
But yes, iDubbbz, as I understand it, made a content cop video about Ethan Klein, and Hasan at least was featured in the opening credits. When they were doing these funny TikTok dances with the L. He goes into it, but right away, this is you know when you go into some debates and even if you disagree, it's friendly. You like, hey, how you doing? We hate each other's positions, but it's going to be pretty friendly. This isn't that, and it's right away with the very, you can feel the tension. It's palpable. Okay, it's palpable that they are not happy with each other. Ethan is not here to fucking play. He's telling Hasan not to tell his team what to do. It's going in there, but let's keep going.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, it's pretty bad. Let's see if it gets worse.
Can I lay some like ground rules so we can have like a productive conversation?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to come on to make this as issue specific as possible. But yes, you have grievances with me. And of course, I think they're valid to address.
Okay, good.
Of course, we'll talk about that. Hopefully, I'll be able to address some counterpoints as well, if you will allow me in that process.
Absolutely.
But before we get started on anything, I would like to potentially talk about definitions so we can have like an established definition on a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about. Is that okay with you?
I mean, it depends how many definitions you got. What do you want to define? I don't want to get bogged down in this, so
I'm also experiencing audio issues on my end, so hold on one second.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. All right, so you're fine with that?
I mean, I'll do up to a point, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to get bogged down in a conversation.
It's not like a gotcha.
Go ahead, start. No, I know you're not. I just want to get going.
All right. So first and foremost, I think we should define what Zionism is and what you mean by Zionism.
Just real quick, what do you think Zionism is? I'm just curious. I have no idea your positions here. I'm just when you hear Zionism, what do you think?
Belief that Israel is the homeland of the Jewish people. That land is theirs. It belongs to them because of it's in the Torah. That is generally my idea of Zionism. It's that land is theirs.
Makes sense to me.
How would you define it?
I don't know. Zionism, as I understand it, is the belief that Israel has a right to exist and should be the Jewish homeland. That's what I think about it. I don't know. I think it's okay to have different definitions here, but it's good, I think, that Hasan wants to kind of figure out what they're talking about because too many people use Zionism, and I'm not sure what they mean. Does that make sense? And so I think it's good that he's setting definitions here. Let's see what they think Zionism is. I'm really curious.
I agree. I think that's good to start out with so that they don't get bogged down in like semantics.
Well, more it's so like they know what they're talking about. So when if Hasan said, I think you're a Zionist, or if Ethan says, I think you're a Zionist, we know what exactly they mean. Because otherwise they could mean different things and both be correct or both be wrong. But let's see what their definitions are, and let's see what he has to say.
And what I mean by Zionism
is the belief that Jews should have their own homeland in the historic Palestine area. That's it.
Okay. All right. So I believe that Zionism is a religious ethno-supremacist ideology that revolves around the exterminationist policies of removing the indigenous population that lived in, as you said, historic Palestine. as long as they are not Jews, because it's a religious, ethno-religious supremacist ideology. I think that this is a disagreement that you and I have.
No, I agree with
on this
you.
front.
I agree with you. If you want to add that, like the genesis of Zionism included, the displacement and the ravaging of the culture that existed there, then I would agree with you. I mean, I don't think that the establishment of Israel was like a good thing. I mean, it was tragic and a lot of bad things happened. But let me ask you, sir.
Okay.
How was filming that content? I just have to know what you felt, what you were thinking as they were doing the Fortnite L behind you.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
No,
that.
no,
We'll
no,
get to
no.
that.
I don't know why the subject switch, but let's keep going.
What? He's mad as fuck.
Oh yeah,
He is
I told
mad
you.
as fuck.
He's very
Yeah.
upset. But
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Good lord.
I think it's good they agreed on a definition, but yeah, I think Hasan came in for one discussion, but Ethan wants another one, and let's find out how that
Yes,
works out.
seems a lot more personal.
Oh,
it
yeah.
seems for Ethan.
Oh yeah.
I
We're
promise.
here. I don't want to talk about
Okay.
definitions. You got your Zionism, and let's do
I think. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was fine.
Did you not? You didn't.
I've participated in other YouTube videos as well in the
No,
past.
but that
you know?
Fortnite
Some of
L
them-
dancing.
Some of them feature sketches.
I noticed
Okay.
you weren't in the other shots. Why was that?
I think I was being interviewed
Oh, really?
by
Who was
a
interviewing you?
journalist while that was happening.
Really?
I don't remember.
Really? Oh, that's convenient. I think you were embarrassed, frankly. You were absent from every other shot. I think you saw
Wait,
him doing
why
that.
would I be-
I think you saw him doing that Fortnite dance, and you said, "I got to get out of this." And by the way,
No, I
I'm
don't
giving you
care.
credit for that.
I mean, Ethan, you're a comedian. You know, you've participated in some sketches. You know, it
Nothing that
happens.
I mean, shit. Yeah.
Really? You're one of your most famous sketches, you in a fucking diaper. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we've done funny things.
Okay, you know what? Let's not debate
Yeah.
the merit of our comedy. You're right. I'm very hacky, and so are you.
so-
By the way, you believe
yeah,
that the
that's
likes
fine.
were botted on that.
What?
You had
It's all
said you
just so
thought the
petty.
likes were botted on
Yeah,
the
this is
content
ridiculous,
cop. Do you still
honestly.
believe that?
What? The likes were botted on the content cop?
The
I don't- I have
dislikes
no
were
idea.
botted. The dislikes, sorry. Yeah, you said it was brigaded and was botted. And it was unnatural. The dislikes on the video.
I don't really care about this. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I
I'm
don't,
asking-
I
I
don't
don't care
recall
if you-
saying this, but I don't know why
You
this is a
did say
major point
it.
of contention. All right, so you
No,
asked that question. Let's get back to some other definitions.
Hold on, let me finish, and then you can do your definition.
Okay.
Did you think it was?
Well, it's not my definition. I want to hear your definition.
That's fine. I'll answer how you like. Do you?
I hope you know that, like, you know, I don't know if you know this, but I didn't publish the content cop. iDubbbz did.
Yes, I know that, and I've addressed
Okay,
him
good.
thoroughly.
All right,
do you know that? Do you believe he should have included the context of the CPS call?
In case you don't know what the context of the CPS call is, apparently a lot of someone, we don't know who, called CPS on Ethan's kids to get him taken
Oh.
away. Yeah.
Oh,
He made a video about it. I mean, where he was very upset that someone called
uh-huh.
his CPS on him.
Understandably.
Allegedly, most of the clips that iDubbbz took was from that video. So that's the
Oh.
context here. We'll see where that goes. But like I said, this is messy, and there's obviously
Yeah.
I do think it's a little petty to talk about the botted views and all that. I do think that Mr. Klein, Ethan here, is being a little petty here, but I do understand his rage at this constant level of attacks he's getting. So we'll
Yes.
see. We'll see how this goes. But that's a little context for you, so you understand, so we can understand what is going on in the conversation as we go. We good?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And like I said, if you have any questions, you want me to stop, or you want comments, please feel free. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I will jump in. Oh. Oh, what did I do? There we go.
Okay, we good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
What?
What? You don't know what I'm talking about?
Wait. I'm a little confused. You are asking me
Yes.
what my opinion is on
the video.
iDubbbz's content cop.
Correct. That's correct.
About the CPS. I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was more so about like your your year-long conquest of deplatforming and also
Right. Well, 90% of the clips were from the episode entitled "CPS Came to My House," Hasan. I don't know if you think that's an important detail. I sure do.
Ethan, I think you know my position on this, as I made it very clear. I think it's completely inappropriate to fucking call
No.
CPS.
That's obvious.
I think it's
I'm
completely
saying
inappropriate
your
to call
friend
CPS
Hasan
on
you
a
made a
content
video
creator you
with
don't like.
did
I
a
don't know why
total
you're-
fucking
I don't know
hit
why you
job.
think I have
All right,
any
go ahead.
hand
Ask me a
in this.
question.
I don't have any like.
God.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen to me. Listen.
It doesn't get better.
Okay, so Ethan came here and was like, we're going to settle our personal beef.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hasan thought they were going to be debating Israel-Palestine.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And here we are. And that's
Holy shit.
that's where we are. So
All right.
we're gonna see where it goes. But it's not going anywhere so far. It's a situation, you know, when you're a kid and your parents were fighting, okay? And the kind of tension that was in the house. That's what it feels like listening to this. Not that either of these people are my parents. Gross, right? But
No, but that's the vibe. The
Yeah.
vibe is like just this icy discomfort. I want to tiptoe. I feel like tiptoeing.
yeah,
This is terrible.
you're watching and you're like, I want to leave. I want to leave the house, right? If I had two friends of mine fighting like this, I would leave. I'd be like, okay,
I
this
would
isn't-
leave. Yeah.
this is vibe killer. But this is what's going on here. It's really bad. It's really bad. And look, I understand wanting to address your personal beef with someone. Absolutely. Like, and I do think in that Ethan has legitimate issues that he can raise with Hasan and Hasan's community and Frogan and all these people who kind of orbit Hasan and things like that. But he's just doing it in the most acidic, worst way. It's just
He's making Hasan look very put together, and like Hasan, yes, seems the more put together one in this scenario thus far. Ethan is not doing himself any favors.
It isn't. And yeah, it's pretty. Again, it's hard to watch, but let's see what happens, right? And again, like I'm on Ethan's side here when it comes to the harassment and things like that. I think that the people who have been harassing him have made him crazy. And
Yeah, that's bad. That is internet. It is bad. Internet
Yes.
harassment is bad.
Yes.
Um,
And there is this tactic, right, where people will come at you all day, super hard, and then when you react to it, they're like, "Why are you mad, bro? Why are you being so crazy, bro? Why are you doing this, bro?" And you're like, "You've been poking me all day. Of course I'm gonna snap." Right? And so I think that's where we're at, is Ethan is snapping. And if you have no context for why he's doing it, it does look bad. But
yeah.
let's see where we go with this.
We're both content creators online. We both have received an endless wave of harassment. You and I have talked privately about this.
Hasan, I don't
when
care.
we
Let's
were-
just go
when we
on.
had a
You-
podcast.
I don't-
No,
I-
what do you mean? You
I
brought
don't-
this up. You brought it up. Hold on.
I
Let
know
me
what
say my
you're
piece.
saying. We've all
You
been
brought it up.
harassed. The internet
Let
is
me
tough.
let me
Whatever,
say
yada
my
yada.
piece.
Ask me a question.
No. Please, Ethan, please.
Because you're so
Please.
boring, bro. I just want to have an interesting conversation.
You know
Go
who
ahead.
else also told me that? Andrew Tate. Please, just hold on.
Wow,
and let
I have.
me
Wow,
try
God
to
forbid.
explain-
That's a little weird to be like, "Oh, you know who else said the same thing you did? Andrew Tate." I mean,
That is weird. This is just getting weird.
it's so weird. Both of them are really cringe, but let's keep going.
It's like peering into like someone's kitchen. You know, like they're having it's like seeing the neighbors argue. This sucks. Oh my god.
in my position to
And
you.
they're gonna make so much money.
You and I are both content creators.
They are. Yeah.
We get an endless wave of harassment, doxing, swatting, all of this stuff. Okay, sometimes by the same people. Ironically enough, by the same communities. You and I know we've had these conversations in private
been a while.
before we stop doing our podcast. And you know my position on this. I think it's completely
I know
unacceptable.
you're
because
against
I am victim to the
CPS.
same
That's
exact
not
things that
even
happened to you
interesting.
in this regard. I would never in a million years advocate
ask
for
me a
that sort of
question.
thing, and don't think it's appropriate.
Very
And I
good.
don't
Ask
know
me a
why you
question.
think that I have anything to do with
Because
this.
you're not you're misrepresenting what I asked you. I didn't ask you, do you think it's okay that people called CPS? I asked that the video that you participated in, which was a total fucking hit job that used 90% of its clip from an episode of the podcast called CPS Got Called on Me and didn't even include the title of the podcast. Now, do you think that's fair?
I think you should take this up with iDubbbz instead of me.
Okay,
I
sure.
didn't
Ask me
make
a
any
question.
Editorial. Yeah, I didn't make any of the editorial decisions in
I'm try-
iDubbbz's content cop.
I'm asking what you thought about it, okay? Not if you made it. It's pretty fucking... pretty
Sure,
obvious. Go ahead, ask me a question.
I'm sure it would have been. I'm sure that I'm sure that it would have been all right if he mentioned it.
It would have been all right?
I don't know why this is a major point of contention for you. I thought we were going to talk about Israel-Palestine.
We're talking about whatever we want to talk about. You had said that I have problems with your character. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, ask me a question.
But you having problems with my character.
Hasan, ask me a question. I'm going to...
I do want to know how this was pitched to Hasan. Like,
Yeah, I thought it was.
Go on.
I mean, how was this advertised to viewers? Like, I thought, because it was my understanding that this was like a debate. It was going to be a debate, like about. So presumably it was pitched to him that way.
I think that at least for me, when I saw it, I saw that they were going to be talking for the first time since their breakup. I was not sure the topic they were going to be talking about. I assumed it would be their beef plus Israel-Palestine. Again, I want to know what Ethan or Ethan's team told Hasan.
Yeah.
Because if they did not mention the beef stuff, then that's pretty fucked up. But if they did,
that's kind of fucked up.
If they did, and Hasan only wants to talk about Israel-Palestine, then that's kind of screwed up the other way.
That's kind of fucked
right?
up.
But
yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea how it was pitched. They called it a conversation. That's what my chat is saying. Okay. I mean, like that. It would have behooved them to be a little more organized in what the actual topic was. I think that we could say that. But
yeah.
And again, Zero Fox says I kind of did not expect it would be an Israel-Palestine debate because there's too little daylight between them, and I agree with that too. Like I'm still not quite sure the exact difference of opinion on Israel-Palestine. I think that the only difference that I've seen is that Ethan wants Israel to exist and Hasan doesn't. And that's really the only difference.
Seems to be, but they seem to, based on Ethan's phrasing, seems to have, take issue with the, violence. So it seems like they agree with each other on that, in that capacity at least. So I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out.
Move on to the next topic.
From you
here.
asking me about iDubbbz's editorial decisions in his content cop.
I'm asking about your opinion on it. Go ahead, ask me a question.
Okay. So, do you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. So you agree with the with numerous human rights organizations, the UN?
I already said yes.
Okay, great. No, that's important. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Wait, can you pause this for a second?
Sure.
So I had been told based on what I had seen of this beef over like the course of God, when did they stop talking?
Shortly after October 7th, like a couple months after, I think.
I would see things like on the internet, every tweet, it seemed like Ethan was very, very, very pro-Israel and Israel's actions. He's not?
He is not. And this is one of the things where I think he's actually got a point, is that he has been painted as this pro-Israeli neo-Nazi friend of the Knesset who wants to destroy all the Palestinians. And he, again, doesn't actually disagree with Hasan's point on the genocide. He is very left. He thinks Palestine deserves its own freedom. He thinks Israel is doing horrible things to it, including a genocide. But the fact that he won't go and support Hamas seems to be why a lot of people turned on him, and they spread these, like you said, you were under the impression, just watching this from like the corner of your eye, that he's this pro-Zionist monster guy who loves genocide. And
no, literally, that's what I got from it. Was that's crazy. Okay. I feel kind of bad for him now.
Yeah. Yeah. I do too.
Jesus.
But
Good God.
Well, let's keep going because we'll see if they kind of drill down into it, and let's find we'll find, I hope at some point during this conversation we'll find where they actually differ on policy, and maybe we'll get to it, but we'll see, right?
I also agree on this. If you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza, okay, do you feel like you have used your limited amount of time that you have as a content creator speaking out against Israel doing a genocide on the Palestinian population living in the Gaza Strip, or do you feel like most of your commentary on that issue has overwhelmingly been to rail against people that are doing that?
Sure.
Pro-Palestinian advocates that you feel like you've been wronged by, myself included.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but if you're pro-Palestine, it doesn't absolve you of criticism. That's something that you guys keep harping on.
Do I think my coverage... And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that is the case.
Okay. Do you think my coverage has been like totally balanced? I would say no. I've obviously given less time to the Palestinian perspective, and I think the reason for that is simply that...
No. Not just the Palestinian perspective, Ethan. I think that...
Question.
Go ahead.
Is Ethan Klein normally this twitchy?
He's got Tourette's.
Oh,
So,
okay. That checks out. Yeah.
He's got Tourette's. So he twitches and same thing. When I first saw clips of him, I'm like, is this guy what's this guy? Is this guy tweaking?
I thought he was on coke.
Yeah.
Or
but he's
like
got Tourette's apparently.
Adderall.
That is one of the things
Gotcha.
that like people like Emma Vigeland and a few others have accused him of being a drug addict. And they've kind of accused him of that, but I've not seen any kind of evidence.
No, I had a friend with Tourette's in high school, and that is exactly the kind of stuff that she would do, like especially the shoulder twitching.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's not drugs.
Yeah, it's it is saying, and I do think that Hasan's question here is interesting for a couple reasons. So Hasan is asking, like he's established, you're not a Zionist, you think there's a genocide, so the purity tests on those two things have passed, right? But he goes further and he's like, well, do you think you've been covering this? Have you used your limited time as a creator to cover this, or have you been spending your time railing against the people who are covering this? But I think the framing of this question is a little off, because Ethan has been, since they broke up, covering the people who are attacking him. And that's understandable. He's getting CPS called on his kids. He's had people come out calling him a Nazi. He's had people coming out making up lies about him. Obviously, that's going to be a focus of his coverage. And this weaponization that Hasan is doing right here of it's kind of like this if, let me think of a good analogy here. If there was a guy who's beating his wife, okay, and then in response, his wife goes on and on and on about how my husband's beating me every single day, and then some other guy's like, whoa, why are you always talking bad about men? Why are you always talking bad about men when women do bad things too? Right. And you're like, come on, she's being victimized here. What are you doing? And I think it's a little like that. So I think that this is just, I understand why Ethan is as angry and as ragey as he is. Even though I agree with you, it looks kind of bad for him. But I understand exactly why he's doing it. But yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So any other questions before we hit play?
No.
Okay.
Rather than talking about that issue in and of itself, rather than talking about the genocide itself, every time you have
Hasan, I'm answering your question.
Every time you've talked about Israel-Palestine, it almost always revolved around.
I was going to tell you why. Do you want to let me answer?
Personal vendettas that you have experienced from pro-Palestinian content creators.
Okay. Would you like me to? You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer it. The reason
Go
for
ahead.
that being is that I feel like I'm responding to a lot of bullshit that's been passed my way ever since Leftovers ended, starting from you and your community. Now, that's my answer to that. Now, let me ask you about this. This sword has a Nazi swastika hilt.
Okay.
Do you disagree? What's funny about that?
I do think this is a weird place to take it. But yeah, I don't know if you can
What
see
is
the
that sword? Can we get a zoom in on that if not?
can I? Let's see.
I don't think
I can't
so.
actually zoom in, unfortunately.
Let me just look up iDub sword.
Yeah, go ahead. You take your time. But this was featured on the the Content Cop video or whatever, and one of the shots, and it has IDubbbz
That does
holding
look
the
like a
sword.
swastika. I know that was like a Buddhist
Yeah, it's
symbol
like a
of
Hindu
peace,
symbol of some sort. Yeah.
but that's Ichigo's Bankai sword. Hold on.
Oh no, I guess the zoom in
Ichigo
did work. Oh no, hold
Bankai
on, let me fix
sword.
it so we don't get the. Oh no, hold on.
Okay, that is like a sword from Bleach.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to. That's a bad look when you're making a video and you're the creator that you're beefing with is Jewish. Like, you could probably maybe avoid using the sword that has a symbol that kind of looks like I would do that. I would not want to put anything that looked like a swastika in
No, I get it.
Ooh.
I get it. Like,
Ooh.
I think this might work. Like, it doesn't work on me. Like, I don't like. Okay, you had a swastika sword. Who cares? But I know that a lot of lefties would see this as like beyond the pale. For me, though, it's just like, okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
it
Seems
did bother.
accidental, largely.
It does bother. Well, I don't know if it's accidental. Like, this was an edited video. I don't know if you could say that's an accident, but yeah.
Maybe
Well,
that's the only sword he has. I don't know.
okay.
I think it's funny because you've made this a major point of contention. That's why I think it's funny.
It's a swastika, is it not?
Yeah, it's a sword that is a bleach sword, as you know already. That has a hilt that has a Japanese manji sign on it. But yes, it does look like a swastika, as I've also noticed and have talked about on numerous occasions that you brought forward.
Yeah. Of course, you're
already.
conceding that because we fished this up. But yeah,
Such as when I made fun of, I believe it was Alexa that grabbed it, and I said, "Oh, you immediately go for the swastika one." Yeah, exactly. Do you think?
Anyway, my point is, Hasan, if I can continue, my point is that you knew it was a swastika sword. So why did you guys choose to pose with this sword?
Ethan,
answer that. Why was the choice made for this sword?
I'm gonna gently explain this to you again. One, it's not a swastika, but regardless.
Do you think it looks like a swastika?
I did not make this editorial decision. I wasn't even.
Do you think it's reasonable?
Can I say something?
Of course.
Even outside of any sort of like, anti-Semitic or political implications of the sword, why give him something that he could use against them and then say, this is anti-Semitic? Like, I feel like if I were in iDubbbz shoes, I would go out of my way to make sure no critiques of anti-Semitism could be levied against me, because I feel like whether you think it's if that's like a silly criticism, it's like I just wouldn't even tempt fate.
You wouldn't give him the ammo.
I wouldn't give them the ammo. Like that. This was it was clumsy.
Yeah,
that was either clumsy or intentional. Well, I don't know.
And I'm not sure how much I agree with this theory, but this is the theory, right? And just for sake of educating the audience, this is like a reason for dog whistles in a lot of cases. It's to make it so that the people, right, respond to it, look crazy. Right? Like, oh, it's you thinking this is a Nazi symbol? It's not a Nazi symbol. What are you? You're always paranoid. Look how paranoid you are. It's not a Nazi symbol. It's obviously a Hindu symbol. It's just enough where they can kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge about it to their buddies. But if you call it out, it looks like you're overreacting. And if I was trying to goad someone into overreacting, that's kind of the thing I'd do, right? Is I'd put these little
Yes.
things that it makes you look crazy if you talk about any of them, but I'm absolutely doing it on purpose because I want you to talk about anyone so I could say that you're crazy, right? And
Right.
paint it like that. So, I don't know, but it's
No, I agree. That I think that's this definitely feels like
but
that's
I
what
yeah,
it
I don't
is.
know. I don't know if that's what happened.
But
I
who
just,
knows?
yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's the part. That's the problem. There's enough. All of this is enough plausible deniability that they can retreat to
Yes.
that whenever they get called out, which is part of the problem I have with Hasan's community is that they engage in these kinds of attacks, but then they can retreat to, well, it's not anti-Semitism, it's just anti-Zionism the whole time, right? Like, and
right.
it's hard to pin down. It's like a shield. They use it as a shield, and it's really hard to kind of deal with because if you don't want to conflate the two, right? You don't want to conflate anti-Zionism with
Yeah.
anti-Semitism, but they play in that space. They play in that gray area. So
So much, which
yeah,
makes
it's
it
hard.
and it makes it hard to defend them. Like no matter what your position is. Now it's like you're being sus. It's very sus in my opinion, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's keep going.
To perceive that as a swastika?
Ethan,
Answer the question.
is
Is it reasonable to perceive that?
I don't think it was a deliberate decision that IDubbbz made, but I don't know. I don't know his mind.
Hasan, they're your swords, and according to the New York Times article, there was 10 options. So what's the chances that they chose the swastika?
Okay, he has 10 swords, by the way. I guess we answered your question.
Oh,
so.
that was Hasan's swords then.
Yeah. So.
Okay, that looks bad. That looks bad.
And he had 10
sucks.
to choose from, and he chose that one. So.
Oh no!
Apparently, but let's keep going.
Oh my god!
One that seems pretty slim.
Well,
you have 10 swords, don't you?
The week prior to that, I believe. I don't know the exact timeline. I don't really remember when they shot this, but I had the sword out because I was doing an Assassin's Creed promo. Do you feel like if I thought it was like genuinely a swastika sword, I would use it in an Assassin's Creed promo shot?
Yes. That's what we call a dog whistle, Hasan. And what you're doing is gaslighting somebody. You made a video. Let me make a point here, Hasan, because you're the king of microaggressions and understanding the perspective of minority groups.
True.
Right? So you made a video. You participated in a video accusing a Jewish. Let me finish my point, Hasan. No. Stop. You are making a video accusing a Jewish man of exaggerating anti-Semitism while exhibiting the most hateful symbol against Jewish people. Do you not see this as a problem? Or
Nazi, right? He's got Nazi. Is it a problem? Okay.
Whoa!
$5 from Deej Nuts. $5 from Deej Nuts to say Hasan isn't a Nazi, but Elon performed a Sieg Heil. Sieg Heil? I don't know how to say it. I'm not German. Well, thank you for the $5.
I think.
Yeah, and if you give me money, I will say things on stream. So keep giving me. Oh, did you hear about that? I know this is a little bit of a side, but that white lady who called a 5-year-old the N-word and then raised
she's got $250,000.
It's $350,000 now. It's still going.
Oh my god!
Hey, if there's any if any of you right are listening and you want to make some easy money, if you're a minority, okay. You want to make some easy money, we can split it, okay? I get to call you a slur, you get to videotape it, and then I get to milk these retards for all they're worth and make a GoFundMe, and then we'll split the proceeds, half and half, 50-50. Come on, what do you say? It'll be fun.
I think it's a genius scam. It's like, do you remember that girl? She was a black girl on Twitter, and she was like, "Oh, I'm a MAGA, but no one supports me and my family because I'm black. I'm black MAGA." She wasn't, and she got like $1 million or something.
It's crazy.
She milked them.
Crazy money. But let's.
No, that's insane.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Okay,
I know. Evidently, integrity, honor. No, it's all about the grift and saying slurs. Evidently.
Yeah, $350,000. I'll call a child a slur. Go for it. I'll do it for half. I'll do it for half. You show me the child. It'll be this like 5-year-old cancer chemo child that's on his last legs. I will be the last word that he hears for $350,000. I would. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I would do it. I'd be like,
You split
okay,
the proceeds with the family. Yeah.
let's keep
Oh,
going.
it's the only way to get your medical bills paid these days.
True.
Jesus
Or at
Christ.
least,
Ethan,
am I
I couldn't
insane
hear
for thinking
anything
this
you
is
said.
odd?
Ethan, take a deep breath.
Tell you, answer the
Okay.
question. I don't need
Take a
you to
deep breath.
console me.
I didn't even hear your question. I need you to.
Well,
I
you
need
should try
to answer
listening instead of
something.
speaking.
I'm just looking for clarification here. Do you think that I
No.
deliberately
Yes.
was using a dog whistle in an
Yes.
Assassin's Creed promo, or that it was a cool sword that was laying around because it's the only long sword that I have?
You have 10 swords.
I know they're heavy. That's not a real sword.
So you, oh, yes, I'm aware that it's not a real sword, but you had 10 to choose from. What does it matter how much they weigh?
Yeah, the
You
other
did-
ones are heavy.
Let me
Ethan.
paint a
I'm
scenario.
waving that
Let
shit
me
around.
paint, Hasan, let me paint a scenario for you, okay? Listen, okay? This is important. You participated in a video accusing a Jewish man of exaggerating anti-Semitism. You exhibited in that video the most hateful symbol against Jewish people. 1 out of 10 of your swords that you have previously already stated you know is the, quote, swastika sword. So am I insane for even... You're treating me like I'm insane for bringing this up, but it sounds pretty reasonable.
I mean, it's a little insane.
So
yes.
yeah, microaggressions just don't
because you're
exist for
asking me-
Jewish
you're-
people.
You're asking me why iDubbbz.
It's your
made
sword,
this
bro. I don't
decision,
believe that you
and
weren't
I'm
there.
not iDubbbz.
You were
and
there,
I
bro. It's in
don't
your
know
fucking
how to
house.
I don't know. I don't know why you're asking me.
Because
why
it's
iDubbbz
your
chose
house
that.
and your sword.
But I also
Hasan's struggling here. Hasan's squirming because
Yeah, this is a good point.
yeah, Ethan's just right here. He's like, look, and he's calling it out. I think this is Ethan so far. Yeah, okay, Ethan's got his legs under him. He's a little too hot at the beginning, but I think this is earned. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? $5
Yeah.
from Deej Nuts to say you're now obligated to say the following: Hasan is the most intelligent. Hold on, I gotta move my thing. Hasan, give me a second. I gotta say this for $5. $5. Whick, you're now obligated to say the following: Hasan is the most intelligent, honest, and charitable political streamer on the planet. Well, thank you for the $5. I disavow every single thing I just said, but thank you for the $5.
Not a Hasan fan.
No, I am not.
I'm not either, but I also just don't
Yeah, you just don't watch don't,
political streamers.
Look, just
or-
think of
or
this like
streamers.
okay, if this is Lord of the
General.
Rings, because you're a fantasy girl, right?
Mhm.
Okay, if this is Lord of
Yes.
the Rings, Hasan is like worm tongue. Okay, he'll spin a web into your ear. He'll be like, "No, it's not really a Nazi symbol. You're just crazy for thinking about
Uh-huh.
it." Okay,
Uh-huh.
and meanwhile, you got Sauron, which is I think probably Nick Fuentes in this thing, right? He's the
Uh-huh.
guy sending the orcs, sending the people, things like that. And Wormtongue here is just trying to pave the way for him. But, oh, Bad Empanada. That's probably better. Bad Empanada is Sauron. Thank you. Bad Empanada is Sauron. And Hasan is Wormtongue. And Ethan's like, Ethan's kind of like Boromir, okay? He's,
You mean Saruman?
no. I mean Sauron.
Do you mean the wizard or Sauron?
I mean Sauron. Sauron's a wizard. I know some Lord of the Rings stuff, but Ethan here is like Boromir. He's tempted by the ring.
Okay.
He's the tragedy of Boromir, right? He's played with the ring before. He wants the ring before, but
Uh-huh.
you know, at the end of the day, he's still a tragic figure, and he's still done wrong by. But anyway,
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if that helps you understand or if that didn't help anyone, but
Kind of. I thought you said because like Wormtongue and Saruman were like, well, Wormtongue was Saruman's like little guy,
yeah,
his little creature.
yeah. But Sauron was Sauron's creature, and yeah, anyway.
Right. So it's all one big line of creatures.
True. Wick is Tom
A web of
Bombadil.
creatures.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Okay. But let's keep going. Look.
Okay.
Don't judge me too much on these metaphors. These are just kind of off the dome.
I think it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
I get it.
Fair enough. Let's keep going.
Oh, but I also gave you what my speculation is, and that is that
It was just
it's
a
most
cosmic
likely because
chance.
I had
Okay.
previously had it laying around because I had just done an Assassin's Creed promo.
Okay, if you say so. So if it's a cosmic fluke, which you claim, then why leave the photo up?
I'm not even in the photo. I don't.
I
think,
know, it's
right?
in your
Am I
room,
even
though,
in the-
and with your sword. Why leave the photo up if it's a cosmic fluke?
Wait, why are you asking me this question? I don't know. I'm not. Ethan.
I'm sorry,
I am
Hasan.
not
Are you
iDubbbz.
unable to make value judgments on situations? Like, isn't that what you do for a living? Do you think that iDubbbz should have removed?
I don't think it's relevant or that big of a deal at all. If that's what you're trying to get out of me, like, yeah, I think it's not.
Okay, so you're
it's
telling a
what you
Jewish
are
man who's
perceiving.
complaining about a very
And
odd
also,
coincidence that I'm crazy and I'm
Just go over the
exaggerating.
manji on it, Ethan. Can we? Okay, you got me. All right. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you got
Listen
me.
to
I put a swastika in the video calling you out for exaggerating
No, that's not what
anti-Semitism.
I'm saying.
You
I
got
didn't
me.
do that.
Yes, you did.
Ethan,
You literally
Ethan,
did.
I didn't do that.
Okay, laugh
But
about it.
again,
Go on.
It's not a swastika. And
Then
I
why
don't
should
even
he leave
think
it up?
you have that much of an issue with swastikas, considering you drew one on PewDiePie.
I'm a Jewish man, you fucking moron.
I didn't realize.
Is
the
anyone in
Nazis
that
only
room
killed
Jewish?
Jews.
Was anyone in that room? Did I draw
Do the Nazis
swastika
only kill
one
Jews,
time
Ethan?
on?
Do you think that Jews have an exclusivity agreement with like being offended or not offended by Nazi imagery? You've done a Sig Heil approximately.
Okay, hold on. Pause it. You have to let Jewish people make jokes about like that you have.
Who else gets to if not Jewish people, right?
Like, who else gets, like, yes, other people were victims of Nazism and the Holocaust, but it was primarily Jewish people, like, and every Jewish person I've ever met will make insane jokes like that, you know, but as is their right, frankly, in my opinion. I've had black friends who make insane jokes about slavery, as is their fucking right, like, you know what I mean, like,
look,
come on.
Here's the deal, right? Like, black people get to say the N-word. I don't get to say the N-word, right? Well, I guess I do now if I want to make $350,000.
I know, to make so much money.
But it does feel like, I think we can have criticisms of even black people using the N-word. I think that's fair. But I do think we have to recognize it's a different thing when they do it.
It's a very different. It's a very, very, very different thing.
Different.
Yes,
and
the context is completely different.
You can still criticize it. You can say we don't want that word at all, right? And that's fine. And a lot of black people also criticize use of that word, even by black people. Yeah. But it's not the same. So, like, look, if Ethan is drawing a swastika on PewDiePie or whatever, that's a little different than is PewDiePie Jewish? Do we know?
No,
I don't think so either. Right?
I don't think so. I think he's just Swedish all the way through.
Like, yeah, it's like if I called you the N-word, that would be bad, but it'd be different than if I called a black person the N-word. There's difference,
right? Like
there.
a completely different thing. And also, I think PewDiePie doesn't he have a history of like some weird?
I have no idea. I can't even.
I don't know.
I don't know at all. I
don't
not
follow these.
I me neither. $5 from Deej Nuts again. Thank you for the $5. Who is Jordan Peterson in Lord of the Rings lore? Well, I'll let the Lord of the Rings nerd say. Who's Jordan Peterson in the
Jordan
lore?
Peterson?
Who's he most like?
Jordan Peterson is also someone I don't know much about, except for the up yours woke moralists. Failed psychologist kicked out of the club. Let me see. Let me think. You know what? He's Saruman.
You think he's Saruman?
During the scouring of the Shire? He's Saruman after Isengard was flooded, and he loses all his power. And he becomes,
so he's like the outcast Saruman, right?
Yes. He's very abject. He's just running the Shire. You know, having it overrun with
running the hobbits, yes.
Yeah, running the hobbits. He turns it into like an industry town. He like burns it down, builds ugly houses.
Doesn't he make them communists though? Like I remember that in the book. They were kind of like a stand-in for commies. Is that not true?
No, it's more like Tolkien's distress is environmentalist sentiments. Okay. Actually, I would say probably the opposite, because what it is it's, you know, they're being forced to produce goods, mass-produce goods for Saruman's benefit. Versus their...
It's been a long time since I've read that portion of the book, and I'll bow to your expertise on it. I'll give that to you. Okay, let's keep going.
What? 50 times?
Why did I do a Sig Heil? Why did I do a Sig Heil?
I don't know.
Because because you only watch clips on Twitter. I was making fun of Elon Musk and trying to see if it was valid or not.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, as a Jewish man, are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word?
Wait, what?
Are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word because it offends you?
Do you think this is an apt comparison?
Yes.
Okay. So you think that being able to draw the your anti-Semitism radar is completely out of whack.
And who are you to say that to me? You pose with a swastika.
You're saying that it's not a swastika, and you know it's not a swastika.
I mean, it literally is a swastika.
No, it's not.
Let me see the swords in your background. Why didn't you choose one of those ones?
I didn't choose the sword, Ethan.
I don't believe you.
Do you think this is a productive use of our time?
Absolutely. So anyway, you say it's a weird cosmic fluke. Personally, if I think it was a weird cosmic fluke, you say basically it's not a swastika. The difference between the Hindu symbol and
but it's not.
Okay, right. The difference between the Hindu symbol and the Nazi swastika.
On the other hand, was a swastika.
I'll finish what I said. Yeah, I'm a Jewish man. I depicted a swastika, cool. A tasteless joke on Idub's shirt 10 years ago. You said this is the swastika sword, and you keep it in your house, and you use it and pose it in photos, attacking a Jewish man. The fact that you can't even concede that looks bad. I referred
to it as looking like a swastika when my friend picked it up.
So
if I genuinely thought it was a swastika memorabilia, do you think I would keep it in my house?
Dude, you're being so obtuse. I know it's not a swastika, right? And I know you know it's not a swastika, but it is literally a swastika also. Because the difference between a swastika and that Hindu symbol is this. You see what I'm doing? This is the difference. If you ask a Hindu person, would they...
I'm not following. I'm going to be real with you. I was with Ethan, but I don't follow that train there. Can you interpret?
Yeah. His train of thought, like the
it's a swastika, but it's not a swastika, but it is a swastika. Look, just say it looks like a swastika. I know it's not exactly a swastika. You could just say it looks like a swastika. You knew it looked like a swastika, and he was strong on that, but this, I don't know if he's getting mixed up.
He's over-explaining, and he should just double down.
Yeah.
You know, he should just be like, it looks like a swastika. We all know it looks like a swastika.
Yep, and that would have been strong, but like, I think he's letting his upsetness kind of get away from him, and so he's getting away from it. But let's keep going.
They walk around with a swastika sign.
Wait, so you know?
Fuck no, they know that looks like a swastika.
A swastika sword. So I'm a little confused.
Ask your Hindu friends if they would walk around with like a swastika brandished. They know.
Okay.
Are you Hindu?
I am not Hindu.
Okay, interesting.
No.
So anyway, it was a cosmic fluke.
Do you think
brandished
what I... Do you think that only Hindu people have bleach swords? Like, what's going on?
We're discussing the symbol, not the sword. Okay, go ahead. So you think it was a cosmic fluke. There was 10 swords. He magically picked that one.
I can't. I'm speculating on
he left
the
it up.
decision making.
If it was a mistake, he could have deleted it.
I'm not him.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Again, I'm going to repeat myself here. I think I'm doing.
You
this
don't
a
need
lot.
to. Go ahead.
I am not.
Ask me the next question.
I don't know what was going on.
I'm not accusing
in his
you of being
mind.
Idubs, Hasan, but you're acting like you're incapable of making value judgments on things because you're not
No, because
Idubs.
I already made the value judgment. I think you're being crazy.
Okay, well, Mr. Microaggressions thinks I'm being crazy. Very good. You have no problem telling Jewish people they're being crazy on what?
Yes.
It's like a blatant fuck. Go ahead, ask me the next question.
Yes, I don't.
Do you think
I don't have a problem
if you could go back,
you're being crazy right now. You being Jewish has nothing to do with this.
Sure.
If you think he's being crazy, one's in chat. If you think he's sane and calling it out correctly, two's in chat. I want to hear what chat thinks. Okay, one's in chat if you think Ethan's being crazy. Two's in chat if you think Hasan's gaslighting. Okay. You think Hasan's gaslighting Ethan right now about you're
I really think he's gaslighting. I'm
it
not
does
gonna lie.
Great.
I think he's gaslighting.
Yeah. I know. I think this is kind of like the tactic, right? Like, we're gonna put this thing out. We know how it looks, and when you call it out, we're gonna tell you you're crazy for calling it out.
Yes.
And then we're gonna say, look how crazy he's being. This is crazy. And use that to kind of discredit anything he says in the future. But fair enough. I just wanted to get so Twitch is ones and YouTube is twos. Interesting split I have. How's the baby girls doing? What's the
baby girls? Mostly twos.
Okay.
They're mostly saying Hasan is gaslighting.
Okay, let's keep going.
I'm sure it doesn't. Do you think going back that it was a mistake to use that sword?
I don't really care about this at all.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that really shows where you're at on this.
genuinely-
Go ahead and
I
ask me
don't
a
care.
question.
Okay. So, since you believe that Israel is committing a genocide, what are the appropriate steps that people can take, both in the Western world and also regional actors can take against this entity doing a genocide by your own admission, that you would consider to be appropriate? Because it feels like throughout this entire process, you have set boundaries on what you think
Just
is
killing
inappropriate,
civilians, that's the boundary.
as you have set boundaries on what you think is inappropriate.
Killing civilians.
And time and time again has said is outright anti-Semitic.
My boundary is killing civilians.
Okay, that's great.
Reasonable.
Is that unreasonable?
That's a perfectly reasonable boundary to set.
Okay, good. So
I
then we don't
totally agree
disagree.
with you on that. Great.
Great.
Okay.
So let me ask you the next
So
one. Let me ask you about this
From-
Tabris tier,
wait, hold on,
tier
hold on.
list.
I have a. Let me finish.
Well, you asked and I answered. Go ahead. You could go on a little bit more.
Okay, so hold on. Everyone is complaining about my volume on my side
It's
because
so
we're
petty.
using Zoom instead of
Like
No.
I do wish that Ethan had. I get why he's doing it, but he needs to be less attacky.
No, it makes him look weaker. And he had Hasan for a moment. Hasan looked bad there.
Oh yeah.
That was a bad look for him.
Question
but-
from the chat for you, Charlie. Is Charlie streaming on YouTube? Do you stream on YouTube?
I do not. I haven't gotten into YouTube streaming it.
Okay.
I don't know how it works.
What's your Kick thing? So people, if they want to see you there, could go to.
Oh, I usually stream on Twitch, but Kick, I got really anxious about the like Israel Palestine
I
stuff
get you.
after the ADL cracked down on it. So I was like, or APAC or whatever. It is. Let me link it.
Please do. Give it to
I
my.
can just enemy Charlie.
Okay,
it's
enemy
just-
Charlie gang.
Yeah, on kick.com/enemy Charlie.
Kick.com/enemy Charlie. I'll put it in the YouTube description later. I should have asked. I thought you were going to do this on Twitch. So I linked your Twitch, but then you told me I'm not going to do it on
Oh,
Twitch.
my bad.
and- No, it's fine. But I'll correct that in the description later. But $5 from DJ Nuts to say, in other words, Twitch viewers are morons. Well, look, anyone viewing me is smart and beautiful and lovely. Okay, whether they be on Twitch or YouTube. So thank you for the $5 though. But okay. Yeah, I think that if Ethan had just come in a little less hot, he'd be doing a lot better. But I just think Hasan's wrong here, just straight up wrong. But I am curious as the answer here. I think the answer here that Ethan is giving is just correct. Don't kill civilians, right? Don't kill them. I would add, don't rape them either. No killing, no raping. Okay, that's the lines. But let's keep
Well,
going.
I think that's like the rules. Wartime
would
rules,
think.
maybe.
You would
Right?
think.
We have rules about that.
We do. You would think. But let's keep going.
Discord. So my fucking
Go ahead.
audio.
It's fine. Take your time to get the
My
audio.
audio
right.
keeps going up and down. Okay. So one of the first conversations that we had, you and I had, that led to the Leftovers podcast ending, was that you considered "From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free" to be an anti-Semitic slogan. You said that Jews feel like this is an exterminationist slogan and Jews fear this slogan in the United States of America.
Correct.
If you think that Israel's doing a genocide, do you feel like it is appropriate for Westerners in the United States of America and Palestinians and people of Palestinian descent to be able to use emancipatory slogans, or should they go to jail under the Trump administration?
Okay, I mean, these are pretty extreme questions. Now, I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just trying. All I was trying to do.
Question is what's happening right now.
Bro, do you want me to answer?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to explain the Jewish perspective. I'm not trying to make a value judgment of it. But what I will tell you is that how do you feel about Norm Finkelstein?
Love Norm. I know he has said that it
Here's
is,
what he had to say about this.
I know what he
No,
said.
no, no. I want the
He doesn't
audience to
like
see
the
this,
slogan.
Hasan.
Hold on. Can I just?
Hasan, I want the audience
This
to
is
see
not
this
going to be a gotcha
video.
moment for you because I know Norm's position.
Good. I'm glad
He's
you
also
know. Let's
transphobic,
let the
but I don't agree
audience
with
know,
that either,
Hasan.
you know what I mean?
Hey, Hasan, let the
He's
audience
still my
watch the
goat.
video.
I can have a nuanced and reasonable disagreement with a person that I actually admire.
So that's what we're having.
Like Norm. But I have
So
a
it's
disagreement with him
nuanced
on
and
that, yes.
understandable with Norm. Let the audience watch the video, Hasan.
Okay. Go ahead.
Palestine will be free.
Let me go
The
back.
slogan
Yeah. Here's the Norm Finkelstein, a prominent figurehead in the Palestinian liberation movement.
I would like the slogan.
I know.
from
I have more.
Say it one more time.
Who is also Jewish,
Yes.
Norm Finkelstein. I believe his parents were survivors of the Holocaust, weren't they?
I don't know about that, but I do know he's Jewish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Positions
Pardon
that I
me.
disagree with him on.
The video
this
could
as
play.
well.
Be free. I think it's a bad slogan. I know the slogan from the 1960s, the 1970s. It was a bad slogan then, and it's a bad slogan now because it has too much ambiguity. When you say from the river
Someone's going to hit me with the chair react.
to the sea, Palestine will be free, obviously a question arises. Okay, what happens to the Jews in that scenario? And some people will say, well, all it's about is everybody being free, but that's not what the slogan says. So I have, in recent weeks, I have voiced my concern that it's a bad slogan. And I said, just change it, tweak it. From the river to the sea, one person, one vote, Palestinians will be free. And you can't answer that slogan because all you're talking about is equal rights for everyone. From the river to the sea, one person, one vote, Palestinians will be free. And I've encountered this.
I don't know if he actually means the one vote thing, because I think what he's saying is good in that. From the river to the sea, Palestinians will be free, which I think is good.
Out of curiosity, Whick, what was your interpretation of "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free"?
So I think it's one of those things where it can be mean. When Hamas says it, they mean one thing. When some protester in Colombia says it, they mean another thing. When someone on the internet that just heard it says it, they mean a different thing. Like, this is one of those phrases that you can say that you can mean a lot of different things with it.
So the ambiguity.
Again, it's hiding in the ambiguity. It's hiding in this kind of contextual, like, gray area. It's the whole problem with a lot of discussions on Israel-Palestine, just in general, is everyone hides in the gray, and it's really hard to pin people down on specifics, and they like to play with words, and they like to play with definitions, and they like to play with, well, I don't mean all the Jews, I just mean the bad ones, right, in this area, right? $5 from Old School to say, Ethan's mistake is believing that leftists like Hasan can be reasoned with. They cannot. They are nihilists. Nihilists? I don't know how to say that word. They wish only to destroy and spread hate. Well, thank you for the $5. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. What are yours? I'm curious.
My thoughts are, when I hear that phrase, I just think of the, like my God, I don't know how to explain this properly. You know how in Israel and Palestine and whatnot, like, it's all cut up, and it makes it extremely hard for specifically Palestinians to move from place to place.
Yeah, they got the West Bank.
I took it very literally
Gaza,
in the sense that, that was my whole thing, is like, well, they are kind of, sectioned off, and their movement is heavily restricted, no right of return. So my thought was, well, that would no longer be a thing. And again, like Norm said, one person, one vote, there'd be a lot more equality. That was my interpretation of the slogan.
It's one of those things that's vague enough that people can mean it can mean different things when people. It's like all lives matter. There's nothing wrong with saying that. All lives do matter. But in certain contexts,
The
You're
context
oh,
of it does
yeah.
matter. Like, what does that mean?
Like if you're also chanting like intifada, globalize the intifada, and things like that, you're like, oh, okay, well maybe they mean not the one person, one vote, right? Maybe they mean something
Right.
entirely different. And in the Arab, right, chant is different. The Arab chant is from the river to the sea, Jerusalem will be Arab. And that's a fundamentally different chant, right? Like it's a fundamentally different thing. And so again, it's in the gray area. It's this gray area that people play in, and it's just a thing. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Let's see.
Yeah.
Unless you have other comments, that we can go on.
No, that was it. I think again, it's very context, because I don't think that. I think if you, I can understand how on. I think if you can step back and realize that people like Hasan are not saying death to all Jews in Israel, like it's a clearly similar to what Norm Finkelstein means. So
well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. But let's
we'll
keep
see.
going.
You're laughing at Norm.
Routinely talked at campus encampments, college campus, Palestinian encampments as to, I'm not going to make much hay about the slogan in general. There's plenty of other slogans.
Well, you're willing to listen to him, but when I say it, it becomes a big controversy. I literally,
no,
I'm not. It's not even my opinion.
I can have a disagreement with him on that, and you're forgetting one key factor.
What's that?
Okay, you're forgetting one key factor. Norm Finkelstein still ultimately will always say, while I disagree with the slogan because I think it scares people, it ultimately does not matter, and I'm not going to stand in opposition to it. He doesn't say it's anti-Semitic.
When have I opposed it?
He doesn't say it is exterminationist.
When have I opposed it?
That's what people think.
When have I opposed it?
If you think that Norm Finkelstein would be in agreement with you in any way, shape, or form on any issue, please have a conversation with him.
He's literally in agreement with me, like verbatim.
Okay. No,
actually, even more.
You said it was anti-Semitic. Norm doesn't think it's anti-Semitic.
Hasan, do you remember me advocating against it? Do you remember me advocating against it?
If he agrees with you on anything.
Sure, I'll ask Norm Finkelstein. Do you remember me denouncing that statement and saying people shouldn't say it?
I believe in our conversation.
No, it didn't happen. You're lying.
You said it was anti-Semitic.
I said it's perceived that way by Jewish people. All right, let's move on. The Sabra tier list.
Norm does not believe it's an anti-Semitic
Very
slogan.
good. I'll ask him about it. Now, let me ask you about...
Well, Ethan, this is the frustrating part about this. Ethan is saying he doesn't believe it's anti-Semitic either. He's saying that. He's saying it right now. He agrees with Norm Finkelstein. But there's this implication that... But no, actually he does, from Hasan, right? Like, oh, actually you do think it's anti-Semitic. And Ethan's like, well, no, I don't. And this becomes this is why it's hard for me to kind of understand the hate that Ethan gets. It's because he doesn't really disagree with Hasan on much. The amount of daylight between the two is very, very little.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just kind of both getting stuck on. This is certainly not a conversation in which they are trying to reconcile anything. I feel like they're both getting stuck on, again, things that, I don't know. I just feel like they could be working through this in a better and healthier way. This does not strike me as healthy.
This isn't healthy. Of course, it's not healthy.
This is not healthy.
Going on a public platform and to settle your beef in a setting where it's just drama all the time, drama slop, right? Obviously, this is the worst, and no moderator, right? No structure. Yeah, this is the most unhealthy way to handle this. Nothing is going to get resolved from here, but it's good content. So,
yeah.
Keep reading.
Are you actually going to do that? Because that would be wonderful.
Yes, I'm going to talk to Norm.
Productive.
We'll have a great conversation about From the River to the Sea.
Is it? Wait, can I ask you a question?
No. It's my turn.
Okay,
you spoke, and now it's my turn.
You know what? You go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very gracious of you.
Well, I mean, it's just a back and forth conversation, but
Yeah.
you seemingly have a lot of grievances not pertaining to the actual issue at hand. But
I don't know. The issue,
you
my
know.
friend, the issue at hand is your behavior.
No, I think the issue at hand is the genocide.
Well, we seem to be coming at this from two different angles, which is great, right? So let me ask you this. Hold on. You said it's my turn to ask, so let me do that. Hasan, is it my turn to ask a question or what?
That there's a genocide. You already recognize that Israel is committing a genocide.
I can care about two things, Hasan. It's very important to acknowledge that.
Don't you think
I can care about two things, my friend?
Incredibly narrow framework
Very
surrounding
easy.
your own personal feelings.
I'm not that smart, but I.
This bothers me. Yes, there's a genocide going on, if that's what you believe, right? And you can believe that. But man, it still sucks when you're being attacked, and you still get to respond to you being attacked, and you still get to talk about being attacked. You don't have to always talk about Israel-Palestine. You don't. You can talk about how people are making up lies about you. It's okay to do that. And in fact, you probably should, and to a certain extent. Like, it's this idea that he is supposed to just let them use him as a punching bag because there's a genocide and everyone should be talking about the genocide instead. And if you are talking about your own personal drama, it's distracting from talking about the genocide. It doesn't connect with me. What are your thoughts here, Charlie? I'm just really curious.
My thoughts are that Ethan is not someone that should be listened to, like, politically.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like he's a politics guy much at all. So it makes sense why Hasan talks about the genocide in Gaza, because he should. And I think he's done a lot of, from what I have seen, in raising awareness, fundraising, etc., which I thought was cool. Again, but I feel like this is it's the approach that these two are having to this conversation. Ethan is trying to talk about their personal beef, and Hasan is trying to talk about Israel, Palestine, exclusively, and debate their beliefs on it rather than like how they've conducted themselves throughout this whole feud.
Yeah, but I understand, but like I don't think they differ on much.
They don't seem to differ
really
much at all.
Hard to have a debate on that, right? Like,
right, because it seems like they largely agree on most things.
Yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying. I get it. Let's keep going.
Can care about two things.
Okay, no,
even
I
if
can
one
too.
is more urgent than the other.
You think your own personal feelings born out of your misunderstandings is more important?
Did I say that? I said one is more urgent than the other, referring to the genocide.
Oh, okay. So you recognize that
Hasan,
the genocide is a more urgent
Hasan,
issue.
please let me ask a question.
Almost all of your commentary surrounding this issue on talking about your own personal feelings and how you've been wronged by people.
Very good. Let me ask you. So you claimed
Wait, can you answer that question?
No, Hasan, you asked your question. It's my turn. I talked about how gracious you were, man. What happened?
Wait, but
I said you're so gracious. You're going to let me ask you a question. What happened?
Does that make sense?
Don't make me take it back. All right, let me ask you a question.
Sense to you?
Hold on to that. Ask me after this. You defended Frogan's use of the Sabra tier list. What was your opinion on that?
Wait, do you know what the Sabra tier list is? Do you have any context for this?
Okay. I did actually check this out because I was surprised by how long the ban was. The Sabra tier list was... Sabra is... It's my understanding that is a brand of hummus that I believe is considered bad hummus to those who come from cultures that make hummus. And they did a list of essentially how Middle Eastern various people are, and the Sabra indicated that they were not Middle Eastern at all. And Ethan Klein was put into the Sabra category as someone which he's not.
Yeah.
Is he not American?
He's Israeli, I think. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. You know what? I don't know his genetics. I will say though that the Sabra isn't just a hummus. Sabra is also, I believe, and you know what? Actually, before I say something that's not true, let me just look this up because I'm pretty sure Sabra also means Jew in Israel, right? So this is another incident of yeah, it could mean just hummus, or, right? And it's playing in the gray area. Yeah, so Sabra refers to a native-born Jew of Israel. So someone who is natively born Jewish in Israel. Thank you for that. I was pretty sure that's true. So again, it's a brand of hummus. And yes, it's also this other thing. And it's the whole retreat to it when you get called out. Well, no, I'm not talking about Jewish people. It's just hummus. How could you ever think it's the other thing? That's crazy. Just like the Nazi sword thing. Like, oh, how could you ever think it's that? That's crazy. Look at how crazy you're being. That's so crazy. Look at, you're overreacting. It feels like that, right? Again.
Is Sabra a derogatory term?
I don't know.
I would want to know that specifically, because this feels, if Sabra is not a derogatory term, then...
Well, is Jew a derogatory term? It depends who's using it, right?
Depends on the context.
Yes,
in
exactly.
Which it is being used and who's saying it.
Yeah, I would guess it's the same here. Right?
Okay, someone in my chat said, no, they use it themselves. So, I mean, if that's like a...
Sure, but black people call themselves the N-word too. Right? Like,
true, but if Sabra wasn't used as like a slur,
but in the context of the tier list, it's the lowest tier. It's obviously less than the other tiers. So again, in the context of the Frogan thing, they are using it in a derogatory manner.
Right. I'm less. I was fully with you on the swastika sword. This one, I'm less. And it's my understanding that Frogan is, while she is well known on the internet, she also, oh my god, this makes me sound petty.
Say it.
She has like 100 viewer average.
Hey, look, don't look. I get the view count thing, right? But there's some of us who also sit at low view count average.
Yes, of course. No, listen, I was also there. I'm also a person of little to no consequence online. So it feels like, with big difference between millions of views versus like, I would never ever have heard of this at all if it wasn't brought up. And I think especially when it's like people who are, I think, because didn't she get a lot of harassment from his community for that?
Is it Frogan or Frogan?
Frogan?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how to say it. I'm not trying to be I'm not mispronouncing it on purpose, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. My bad. I
don't know if it's Frogan or Frogan.
I don't know. I don't follow these people. But again, it feels like a bit of a different situation where this was maybe something. This feels just clumsier and sillier to me from maybe people who don't have a lot of PR training versus the iDubbbz thing, which that feels very dog whistly and sus.
I do wonder what the difference here is for you, because I understand that Frogan has a low view count, but Denims, the other people who were involved in that, it was at an event, a live event. I'm not sure how much that live event got.
Oh, it was
covered.
A Twitch event?
Yes, and it had sponsorships in the background and things like that. This is why they got the ban, is because they, the advertisers for Twitch saw that and I was like,
so this happened when did they get banned? After TwitchCon or during TwitchCon?
No, I think it was after it aired. I'm not sure how long after it aired. I don't know the precise timeline, so I can't.
I would want to look into this more, just because again, if Sabra is not a derogatory term, then I think that this would just be.
They're using it derogatorily, though. You can make any term into a slur. This is the secret about slurs, gang. Any word can become a slur. I can use your name, Charlie, with a hard C, okay, as a slur.
The hard C.
The hard C.
Hard
Charlie, right? You can absolutely make almost anything
Whick.
a slur. Yes, Whick.
Yeah.
Whick. You can really go for it, and you can. Like, it's all in the intent. And I think that the intent of Frogan and co. in there was to, again, take a shot at Ethan specifically. They put him specifically in this tier list, and to play in that gray area of it's hummus, but it's also the word for Jewish person. So,
but like Jewish person born in Israel specifically,
which is still
which I think the
bad
implication
to
there.
use. It's like that's still something like that makes you anti-Semitic if you only hate the people born in this country. Like, that's pretty bad. Like, I'm not racist. I just hate all the blacks born in Somalia.
Like because I've seen criticism leveled at, like, when people talk about Israeli food, other people have brought up, like, well, this is all actually like you know, Levantine food. This is not Israeli food. This is actually a poor imitation that they adopted, you know, after Israel was founded. Would that be the implication, like trying to make a statement about belonging, I suppose, but that could also be read, oh, this is
it's a lot, yeah.
Okay, can I
You don't have to have a
my
take
feelings
on it.
my feelings on Israel and belonging is that the people who are there are there. However, the people that moved there, that's not their native homeland. Those were Europeans. And it's like, you know, America is my home, but were my ancestors native to America? No. Is the native culture, the various cultures of the US, the native cultures, are those my cultures? No. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are my thoughts. But again, my feelings aren't kick everyone out. It's, well, you're there now. And like Americans and Canadians and Australians and New Zealanders who are of European descent, you do have to reconcile with the fact that you are as a descendant of settlers. And that, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going off.
I know
on a
what
tangent
you
right
mean.
now.
I think I disagree, but
Mhm.
$5 from the soy pill to say Whick. Next time you make me mad, I'm calling you a wicker with a hard R. Okay?
Stop.
No, this.
Oh my God.
It's not a slur. It's with the. He's going to use it as a
Is
slur,
it?
but I don't use it as a
Oh
slur.
my
It's
God.
my people's. We can use it. We can say it's my people. But no,
Yes.
I get what you're saying. I understand the theory behind it. I understand the mindset.
Mhm.
I just think it creates situations like we have in where people can simply hate on someone for their ancestry. And I don't think we should.
Which is not positive, you know.
It's pretty negative.
No
One of
matter
the wonderful
the yeah.
things, it creates a situation where we have not to veer too much into to Trump, right? But where Trump's saying, "Oh, immigrants, they're not really Americans. Even the naturalized ones, they're not really Americans. If you weren't
Mhm.
part of the 1776 crew, if you can't trace your lineage to
Mhm.
the Civil War, you're not a real American. You're just an immigrant." Second generation
Yeah.
or third generation, even if you're an actual citizen, birthright citizenship isn't a thing or shouldn't be a thing. Like, it creates this kind of like the same kind of mindset. I think one of the best things about America is that anyone can be an American. You can come from anywhere.
I agree.
You can come from any
100%.
culture. You can come from any land, any descendancy, any race, any ethnicity, any religion, and you can become an American. I think that's beautiful, and I think that's wonderful, and I think we should do more of that.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. I agree completely.
Beautiful.
Though I think the timeline makes Israel a little bit trickier because this is very fresh.
Well,
You know.
Israel has different issues, right? So I'm speaking
Yes.
specifically
Yeah.
to America. Israel's a different beast, but let's rather than descend into that, like they're still going. By the way, they
They're
haven't
still going.
stopped, right? So
Holy shit.
we gotta get through this. We're gonna do as much as we can, gang. Let's keep going.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to start.
You're fine. You're fine. Don't apologize.
Go
I
ahead.
brought you in to talk to you, so
Yeah.
you're all good.
Perfect.
I think that the Sabra hummus tier list is absolutely insane to consider anti-Semitic, and most people have already laughed about it, despite the fact that it was very damaging in terms of deplatforming a bunch of content creators that participated in this.
I just want to be clear. I don't think anyone should have been banned over it. I do think it was anti-Semitic. I don't think these should have been banned over it. But that's my stance. But
Well, I think that honestly, if this was a Twitch sanctioned event, and they should have been, I'm shocked that they did not. No one was like, this could come off weird to people. Like, I have no idea how that got approved and how that was allowed to continue, frankly, because it's going to be messy and it's going to be a problem.
Well, that does lend credence to the argument that Twitch is kind of anti-Semitic, is you don't really see it as a problem because, well, everyone thinks this way about those people, right? Like, why would they even think like so I don't know, but let's keep going.
I mean, I think Twitch has a lot of issues with bigotry against many groups.
Especially gamers, who are the most discriminated class.
Yes,
exactly.
The most oppressed class in the world. Gamers.
Let's keep going.
Egged on by yourself, by the way.
Yes. With pleasure.
And it's not.
It's insane.
Even remotely.
Okay.
It's not even remotely anti-Semitic.
Very
it's
good.
Like
let me ask you a
the
question.
Cracker Ban that Twitch capitulated on.
So let me follow up with this. Have you seen the thumbnail?
The thumbnail?
Yes, that's what I said. This is the thumbnail that's still up. Now, let me ask you this, Hasan. Here's Frogan's thumbnail for the Sabra hummus tier list. In the F tier is me and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not in the tier list. He has never explored or used. Why do you think Ben Shapiro is on the F tier?
Ethan?
Whoa, answer the question.
Again.
What, you're dodging?
I'm not iDubbbz.
But you can't make value judgments suddenly on your friends who you've spent all this time defending.
No, because
does that matter to you? Because I know you looked into and you had an opinion. Does that change your opinion at all? The fact that Ben Shapiro is also in the F tier, or does it not matter to you? I'm just curious.
Why is he in there? What was the purpose of the Sabra? Okay, I need to get what is the Habibi tier list?
Well, Habibi
satirical meme-based ranking. The list gained widespread. Okay, but what is the list? Arab heritage. The theme is centered around Arab culture and online identity, particularly Arabic, a term of endearment, Habibi meaning my love or darling. Had the Habibi pass. Is Ben Shapiro Israeli? Why?
He's Jewish.
Yeah, I know he's Jewish.
I don't know if he's Israeli. I think he's American. But he could be Israeli-American, dual citizenship as a thing. I don't know.
This seems like a targeted attack against Ethan Klein specifically.
Yeah.
Is what it? Yeah.
But I would argue that they're doing it by implying he's Jewish. Right. I do think they're not just Jewish, but Zionist, right? I think that this is kind of like the implication here. But let's keep going.
I think this is messy. It's
messy. All messy. The whole show is messy, but let's keep going.
Yes.
Because I don't care.
Well, I do.
I don't. Like,
I think it's great you don't care. Why is Ben Shapiro there?
I don't know. I don't care. Probably because he's also a massive
he's Jewish?
fucking... What?
Because it's the most prominent Jewish creators on YouTube.
Do you think Ben Shapiro's Judaism is the reason as to why he would be on this?
100% without a doubt, yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hold
go ahead.
on.
Take your time. I know it's a lot to process.
Okay. This is a lot to process.
Yeah, I know, man. It's tough. You really don't know what to say because it looks pretty bad.
No, because it's so fucking stupid.
Well, tell me then.
You look kind of dumb.
So why is Ben
now.
there?
You look kind of insane.
Okay, very good.
That's
Why is Ben
I'm
there?
having a hard time. Like, I don't know why the fucking Frogan made this thumbnail. And
Why is Ben there?
I don't have any issue with this thumbnail.
Why is Ben there?
Because he's a prominent defender of Israel.
You're quick to say that Jews aren't the only Zionists, right? So why is Ben Shapiro, of all the people in the world who are conservatives, who are Zionists, Christian Zionists, why Ben Shapiro? Me and Ben Shapiro and F tier, the two most prominent Jewish creators on YouTube? That's a coincidence, just like the swastika, huh?
Ethan,
these are two cosmic coincidences.
Ethan,
Hasan, they're really stacking up.
The tier list that you're talking about let's first of all, the tier list that we're talking about was literally designed by a Jewish content creator who you advocated to ban, and he got banned.
Very good, and I'm glad he did. He definitely deserved it.
You called him a token
and
Jew.
And I still stand by that. The man is just fucking. Yeah.
So you get to draw swastikas on PewDiePie.
Go ahead.
So designed by a Jewish man. However, that tier list should not have happened because I think that Twitch okaying an event in which other content creators are targeted is such a bad move in any capacity. Looks so fucking bad. Like that, I'm shocked that was allowed to happen, and I feel a little less bad about Froggen being targeted if she was like, okay, I'm gonna make a video and do a Twitch event where I'm shitting on another content creator like that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Again, that's crazy.
Do you think it would have been if me and you today did a tier list where at the top we had white and at the bottom we had purple Kool-Aid drinker, okay? And then we ranked creators, and all the creators that happen to be in the purple Kool-Aid drinker tier list, or the watermelon enjoyer portion of the tier list, which was lowest, happened to be black. Do you think that would maybe be okay to criticize, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. And that's pretty much this, right? Like, it could just be that, these people just enjoy watermelons, right? Like, it's nothing big deal. They like fried chicken too, right? But we know.
It's most likely Oh, okay, yeah. This is hard to defend.
And even one of the people who helped create the tier list was also black, right? So we had Prime Kai or someone in here, or one of the other Joe Lewis or someone, and they also were like, "Oh yeah, this would be funny." Would that still be okay, or would we be like, "Oh, we would
hate that. We would not. I would not allow that.
Not like that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it, but. Yeah, let's. We're never gonna get through this if, like, I know this is my fault.
Right, I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. Stop apologizing.
Let's watch. Oh, okay.
Stop apologizing. Don't do that anymore. Okay.
But Rafi can't say that there is a tier list here where Sabra
This is
Hummus
Froggen's tier list. This is her.
Is the lowest. The Sabra Hummus, liking Sabra Hummus is the lowest tier.
Ben Shapiro.
And the highest tier is being able to get a Habibi pass. You, as a Jew, get to determine what other Jews are able to do. You're the Pope of the Jews, as Sam Cedar likes to call
I'm not
Ben
determining
Shapiro,
what they can do,
enough.
but this is
going on.
This is Froggen's bit. This is her stage. This is her bit. I mean, you can say the Jewish dude is the fall guy and did everything, but that's not true.
Wait, so you get to draw swastikas, but Rafi can't even say Sabra Hummus is dog shit.
He can say whatever he wants. I'm not criticizing.
So
By the way, you think that my criticism is that he doesn't like Sabra Hummus? Are you being serious right now? By the way, is that a beef? Hold on, what are you drinking?
It's a Dr. Pepper cream
Isn't that
soda.
Who owns that?
I don't know, but it's not on the BDS
Are
national
you sure?
BDS list.
We'll double check.
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, we'll double check that. It's not about Sabra Hummus, and like let's not be obtuse.
Actually, the BDS one is actually pretty funny too, because like you've been, you consistently talk about how like I drink Diet Coke or whatever. When that fan came up to me and said, "Stop drinking Diet Coke," it was not on the Palestinian National Committee's official BDS list.
Yes, it was.
And ever since it has been on that official BDS list,
you're lying.
I have not drank Diet Coke or purchased any Diet Cokes at all.
You're lying. It was on the list.
Wait, what is?
What? Yeah, it was on the list. You're lying.
What was on the list?
Coke.
Yes, it was put on the list, and I stopped purchasing Coke, and I stopped drinking Diet Coke.
You said, you know what's
Coke.
funny? You told her
because I think it's like.
You remember what you told her?
I don't care about the Coke thing.
You remember what you told her? You said, "I'll just put it in a cup."
Yeah, no, I was joking with her because I thought that it was a ridiculous request at the time because it wasn't on the Palestinian National Committee's official boycott, divestment, and sanctions list. Ethan.
Okay. It's not about Sabra hummus, just so you know. Like, let's not be silly.
Wait,
about
what is
this.
it about?
It's about what's Sabra means a Jew born in Israel. It's an Israeli company. It's everybody knows it's like considered like Israeli hummus. It's been on the BDS list. Everybody knows the connotations of Sabra hummus, right? Nobody. Yeah, I don't like Sabra hummus either. We're not talking about hummus. What I don't like is anti-Semitism perpetuated by your friends and swept by you. Now, why is Ben Shapiro on the F tier? That's a cosmic coincidence. Okay, let's move on. Very good.
Ethan,
go ahead. Next question.
I'm not Frogan,
I know and
I don't know
I know.
why.
How can I make value judgments on my friends I've been defending for 2 years?
Also,
who can say?
There is a tier list in front of me, and it seems like a bunch of people, both
Ben
Jewish
Shapiro and me, are in the F tier.
On the Loves Sabra tier list.
You're looking at the end. I'm looking at the thumbnail, bro. I'm talking about the thumbnail.
I know, but I first of all, again, I'm making inferences about editorial decisions that other people have made. I'm just simply speculating at this point.
Sure.
But you know, it's a.
Are you not embarrassed by this
joke.
armpit hair? It's so cringy, bro. It's like so.
This is unnecessary.
Did we pause it?
Yeah, this is unnecessary. The armpit hair stuff.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, hello. I think things froze for a second. Did it pause?
I paused it to just Hasan's or not Hasan. Ethan's making fun of Hasan's armpit hair. I just think this is unnecessary. Just unnecessary.
Yeah. He does post a lot of thirst traps, which are really funny.
Okay.
Great. He looks great, but
Yeah.
Weird. I'm glad you changed that finally. On a separate note.
What?
I find it just so weird and bizarre that this was your thumbnail for so long. Also, ironically, wearing a Rolex hat, which is like probably the symbol of capitalist excess.
Yeah.
I
got a free Rolex hat from a friend of mine. I still wear it every now and then.
Oh wow, who knew? So anyway, Ben Shapiro was accidentally in the F tier.
What does this have to do with anything? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I know it's confusing. It's very confusing for you. It's like a car crash, I'm sure.
So why do you think there's a Jewish
this is a cosmic
man in the A
mistake.
tier
Let's move
on the tier list? If you think that it's like all about anti-Semitism and
do you think that this is at least a bad coincidence?
No, I don't.
Well,
I
that's
really
fantastic.
Don't. No, I don't think it's a bad coincidence at all. I think you're trying to find with a fine-tooth comb like any incidents.
The Jewish man is crazy. He sees anti-Semitism everywhere.
A really hard time.
These are just cosmic mistakes.
I'm telling you. If you want my perspective, I'm giving it to you. I think genuinely, at a time when there is unprecedented levels of
I know. We can't talk about anything else. That's very convenient for you.
At a time when there's unprecedented levels of out and about anti-Semitism with incredibly prominent, oftentimes right-wing conservative figureheads actively talking about Jews, okay, in deeply anti-Semitic fashion, you have lasered in on people that you can't even actually catch, quote unquote, dead to rights because they're not anti-Semitic.
Well, they're not wearing a shirt that says "I hate Jews," but they're walking around swastikas and doing tier lists with Jews on the bottom. I mean, that's as close as you can pretty much fucking get without them just saying "I hate Jewish people."
Ethan, it seems to me like,
and I think you're acting really silly and obtuse right now. The guy who's all about microaggressions and understand the perspective of minorities and stuff, telling a Jewish man that he's hallucinating anti-Semitism and won't even concede that this looks bad. Okay, fantastic.
No, you're hallucinating anti-Semitism in this circumstance.
Very good.
I'm not saying anti-Semitism is not a prominent fixture of American politics.
Very good.
I actually do think that anti-Semitism has exploded in popularity in American politics, especially. So that's not my point at all. I'm saying you individually right now wish that these people were anti-Semitic. So you're trying to find anything you can hold on to.
It's really not a stretch.
Once again,
the whole exchange, right? Like, and this bothers me in general. Like, when my side does it, it's not anti-Semitism, but when their side does it, it obviously is anti-Semitism. I think that Hasan clearly has double standards. Standard for his friend group and standards for the right-wingers, right? And I think that he excuses anti-Semitism in the service of hating Israel. I do think that that's the case. I think that he's done this in this conversation with the swastika sword or whatever, and with the Sabra tier list, and I think that he does it just in general. But it is kind of an effective tactic if we're looking at it, because he can say, "Oh, you can't point to they didn't say the K slur, so they're not actually anti-Semitic," right? It's it's hard. But what do you think?
I think that, again, I'm not convinced. So I just looked at what the Sabra tier list actually is. It's loves Sabra at the bottom, which is, implication here is loves shitty hummus.
Or loves
And there's
Jews.
Asmongold
Loves
and
Israelis, right? Loves Israel's.
Well, so I mean, Sabra is a well-known like shitty brand of hummus, right?
Again, it's both here. It's both.
Because I'm with you on the Nazi, on the swastika sword.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I get
but this one, I can't.
And it is a city brand of hummus, but it also, Sabra is literally the word for Israeli-born Jew. So loves Israeli-born Jews, right? Like, or loves hummus, right? It could be either one. Because Habibi isn't a hummus, is it?
No, isn't that friend?
Yeah, it's like loved one or friend.
I think that because they have Sneeko. Sneeko, it's my understanding that Sneeko is not Arab, right? But he converted to Islam.
So I just don't know about Sneeko. I can't.
Okay,
speak to Sneeko.
That's what I had heard, that he converted to Islam. He's not Arab, but it seems like the thing is, it's like the implication here is far from Arab as possible. Which this one just seems a bit more complicated to me. I'm with you on the sword, but my feelings on their conversation right now is, frankly, I think they need to acknowledge each other's feelings on the subject and just like talk it out like adults, because right now they're both just neither of them are giving any ground at 100%. All.
It's a shit show.
And it's bad. This feels like something that could just be talked about, and Ethan can say, this made me a bit uncomfortable because of the implications, and Hasan could say, okay, I get that, but I don't think it was ill-intentioned at all. I can see how you could see that, but it wasn't ill-intentioned. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That just seems like maybe the adult way to go about it, but what do we know?
Well, I mean,
we're eating the slop.
We can make inferences based on incomplete information, though. We can.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, and this is a hypocrisy of it. In any other instance, if it was any other racial group, ethnic group, gender, anything, we would look at a tier list like that and we would say, again, from white to loves watermelon, and we would instantly be able to, okay, we know what they're saying. And I think it's the same thing here. Like from Habibi, which isn't a hummus at all, to loves Sabra, it's again,
I would see it as kind of a
clear.
Thinks pepper is spicy category. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like if that's what the love Sabra category feels like to me. Thinks pepper is spicy, which would, the implication there would be like, that's white people. That's the whitest of the white. This is Midwestern mayo. You know what I mean?
Midwestern mayo.
Midwestern mayo.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you are. I'm white. But it would be this, I don't know. I'm sure you've been, like, I have friends who have made jokes that,
oh yeah,
spice because I'm white.
White people can't handle spice because they're white. No, that's perfectly fine and things like that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that. I do find it interesting. You can recognize that even though the sword wasn't actually a Nazi sword, right? We all know it was an actual it was a Hindu symbol, but it was close enough that we could say, hey, this is worth criticizing because it does feel like a dog whistle. And this, for whatever reason, isn't catching you, and I don't know why. But
I think it's because there's too much plausible deniability with this one, and looking at the actual tier list. It's not just Jewish people.
With what they did the tier list?
I didn't, but I just looked. Okay. I'll get back to you. I'll watch it and then I'll message you and I'll be like, final thoughts.
Yeah,
okay.
Final thoughts on it. We don't, gang, it's still going on. So we're going to be here a while and I don't have time to show the tier list here. But again, look at the video of the tier list, watch it with the context you now have.
Okay.
And we'll find out, right?
All right. And I will share my thoughts.
Yes. Let's keep going.
And none of those people are me. So I don't know why.
Let's stop with the value judgment thing. Like, you can't make a decision. It sounds stupid as hell, dude.
Wait, I sound stupid as hell? What?
No, when you go, I can't draw, I'm not them. I mean, it's...
I mean, I don't know what... You're asking me what their genuine decision-making is.
Why would I want my best friend Ida to be anti-Semitic? Why would I want my best friend Ida to be anti-Semitic? Why would I want that? You think I enjoy my friends and people around me being anti-Semitic?
Do you want me to tell you why?
I would love.
I don't think you're going to like the answer.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Go ahead.
Okay. You want everyone that has criticized you to be anti-Semitic so that it makes you feel better about your position. It's not your own personal positions that you have explained to people that come across like you're using anti-Semitism as a shield.
What is his position that they're trying to criticize? He does not disagree with Hasan about the genocide. He does not disagree with Hasan about Palestinian liberation. He does not disagree with these people on these questions. So if Hasan's point here is you spend too much of your time talking about the criticism rather than addressing the genocide, what is the criticism he's getting? What has he differed in a way that he is getting criticism for? I still don't know.
As someone who hasn't really I've never watched Ethan Klein. I don't know what his activities have been. This just feels, again, so poor. They are both.
Neither of them are trying to actually understand the other, and they're trying to get their guns in. I get that. I just think that this has been going on for so long. I wouldn't expect any other way, right? The time for reconciliation has long since passed, and now is a time of daggers and blood. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing.
I do think that Ethan should be more just like when he does make everything, says that it is anti-Semitic. It does kind of. It gets to a point where it makes Hasan look like he's in the right in this case. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the dog whistle thing. That's part of the thing. It's like, they're just call everything racist, right? Why are you worried about all the monkeys we have hanging from the rafters here? That's just monkeys. We just like monkeys. There's nothing wrong with a monkey, right? Like,
right.
And you're like, oh, come on, right?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
To deflect criticisms against Israel.
This is
and if they are actually out and about anti-Semites, that'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable, like you've won the argument in your mind, and that your community would also finally go, oh yeah, you're right, you're a permanent victim in this situation. But because there's an unimaginable amount of anti-Semitism everywhere online, it comes across as shocking that you laser in on what you perceive are dog whistles when they're very clearly not even dog whistles at all. And I'll give you an example of this. Something that you did that I found very funny was you tweeted, or you don't tweet, sorry. You Instagram posted about my Theo Von podcast appearance.
Sure did.
My Theo Von podcast appearance where you were like, oh, I can't believe Theo Von didn't actually ask him about his like dangerous anti-Semitism or any number of different things in the conversation. Including, I think you talked about Rick Scott. Now, we did actually talk. Theo Von and I did actually talk about Rick Scott.
Let's pull that clip up,
I'm sure you didn't see that. But hold on. Let me finish. But what I found very strange about that was the fact that Theo Von, and I didn't
actually watch this interview, so I have no context here.
I didn't watch the interview either.
Know this at the time, the day prior to me had actually interviewed Candace Owens. I think you and I both agree that Candace Owens is an anti-Semite, right?
I think that he was on that 1-2 punch.
Okay.
Wow, bow, bang.
Do you think...
You hit him with that anti-Semitism, boy.
No, Ethan. as
think
your
he
former
was on the
podcast
vibe.
co-host, as your former podcast co-host, do you think that I am anti-Semitic? One, and if I am, if you think I am, do you think I'm as anti-Semitic as Candace Owens?
So yes, I think you're anti-Semitic at this point. I'm comfortable saying that. Are you
At
as
this
anti?
point.
Well, let me finish. Let me
let's
finish.
move
You
on
asked
from
me two
Krogan,
questions.
and let's address
No.
what
You
you
asked
think I'm
me.
doing that's
Hold the
anti-Semitic.
phone. You asked me two questions together. I'm going to answer both. You said, "Do you think I'm anti-Semitic?" After talking to you so far today, I can say unreservedly yes. I think that you are more anti-Semitic than Candace Owens? No. But I think your form of anti-Semitism is way more destructive and sinister. Candace Owens is outright. Hold on there, Hasan. This is an important question.
You think I'm anti-Semitic now? Because 2 days
I'm
ago
going
you
to
said
answer.
I wasn't.
I'm going to answer.
Okay.
Your
Or
form of
yesterday, I think. Or 2
anti-Semitism
days ago?
is way more insidious because it's silent, it's tricky. She's out there just saying what she believes, and I respect her for that. Nick Fuentes is just out there. Nobody knows that what's his stance on Israel. Candace Owens' stance on Israel. But you're tricky. What you do is deny the heritage of Middle Eastern Jews, stuff like that. You accuse them of being always the oppressor,
What?
always everything.
Can you
And by the way,
point to-
you spent the first part of this debate calling me insane for what I think most people would perceive as blatant, obvious anti-Semitic
Ethan,
acts.
I don't think most people would look at what you're doing right now and
Well, let's
think
not
that
worry
this
about
is
that.
a sign of mental sanity.
Well, we'll have time to poll the audience afterwards. So let's continue.
Okay. All right. Well, look. Going back to the Theo Von situation, and you said I'm anti-Semitic, right? Yesterday you said, or 2 days ago, in the aftermath of the Sam Cedar conversation, you said I'm not anti-Semitic. So what has changed in that process? Is it this conversation
Yes.
that you and I had?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right.
Here's the clip, by the way. You accused me of not.
Pardon that it won't, is it?
You accused me of not mentioning that Theo Von did not ask you about Rick Scott. Let's go back and watch the clip.
Because
No,
I
like,
said
of what
I
you
didn't
just
say.
mentioned.
in the
Bro, you
clip. I
literally
said
look
in
like
your
the dude from
Instagram
Beetlejuice. That's
story.
crazy. The
On your
small head guy.
Ethan, I
Again,
use my
the-
words very
the-
carefully. I
the
said
looks
in the
thing
Instagram
doesn't
story that you
matter.
posted. I don't
Small
watch
head guy,
your
Beetlejuice.
stream that much. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I only
In the
see
waiting
like
room.
bits and pieces of
Bro,
it.
that's crazy. Do you see the resemblance?
What?
You're this guy from Beetlejuice. In
Why
this
is
photo,
he
you have like the
doing-
same
See,
coat and
it's
shit.
making him look bad. It's
Yeah.
making Ethan look
It's-
ridiculous.
that's you are a
distracting,
comedian.
it's
I
not-
sure am, buddy.
Doesn't
I
matter.
see you
Yeah.
laughing. All right. Anyway, so you accused me of misrepresenting what happened. Let's play the clip.
Right, $800 billion of Medicare and Medicaid that they want to cut. Mike Johnson goes on stage, says, goes on Caitlin Collins on CNN and says, "Oh, there's a lot of fraud happening." There's not fraud happening in Medicare and Medicaid on the point of the recipient.
Right.
It's happening on the point of the providers.
Right.
And that's why I got banned recently on
way.
Twitch yesterday. Because
Sorry
Libs-
about
you
that
got
one
banned.
day.
That's how you just got back.
yeah, Libs of TikTok was like posting about how I said something.
Wait, what is this?
And they misconstrued it as though it was a call to action to assassinate a sitting
Wait, why are you
US
showing me
senator.
this?
Well, you're
'Cause I-
you're saying I didn't bring this up, or I'm saying that Theo didn't bring this up. He didn't. You brought it up, framed it in your own way to basically preempt a tough question. Yeah.
Ethan. I said on.
I'm not sure what this exchange is about.
What the fuck are they talking
I
about?
don't know.
We could skip through this one if we want to, because
Okay. Well,
this
let's
is
see.
when do they talk about something that makes sense?
Well, if you want something that makes sense, we might be skipping a lot. I don't know, but I don't know how long this goes on. I didn't see this portion in the.
I didn't either. I also think it's goofy to say that Candace Owens is somehow that her brand of like that she is somehow not more harmful to Jewish people as a whole than, or she is less harmful than Hasan, because that's insane to me. I don't think Hasan is anti-Semitic. Candace Owens is so anti-Semitic, it's crazy.
They are on
and-
different levels, it's true. But there is something to be said about the insidious kind of plausible deniability of the soft anti-Semitism and how it can sneak in, whereas everyone's just like, we know 100%, everyone's turned off. Well, not everyone, unfortunately, but a lot of people would see Candace Owens and be like, ew, yuck, right? I don't hate Jews, right? I don't think this about Jews. But then if you sneak it in there, you can create these narratives about Israelis and Zionists and all these other, code words and things like that, and say, and you can kind of really spin and get people who would otherwise be turned off by blatant anti-Semitism to accept anti-Semitic narratives. And I do see Ethan's point where it's a different thing. Like I said, I think it's totally different ballparks, right? Obviously, Candace Owens is way more overtly anti-Semitic than Hasan. Absolutely, 100%. 10 out of 10 times, okay?
Yeah.
But that does not, just because, a Klansman exists doesn't mean that other people who aren't Klansmen can't still be racist, right? It's
sure, but like from like a rhetorically, like I just feel like this is Ethan is arguing in a way that I think is bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't think this is doing him any favors.
Sure, no, it's messy. Look here. Look, both of them suck at debate. This is what I'm learning from this. An average Whick panelist can take either of these people and debate circles around them.
I think Pentuple
no problem.
would do better here.
I don't know. Pentuple would struggle, but I think he would take the W. Pentuple would struggle.
In the end,
but
he would
take
persevere.
The W. It's true.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
On the Instagram story that you posted about me, Dan, can you switch it back to Ethan?
Don't switch it back, Dan. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm switching it back.
Okay.
1 second.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
I know, man.
This looks ridiculous on my end.
Does, buddy.
I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, this was
and it's not just because of the video.
Pull up the post as well, but the post I was referring to was make sure Theo knows how you feel about hosting a terrorist adjacent content creator, and I believe there was another post about it or something. But again,
I said he was irresponsible to platform you and not ask you difficult questions. Yeah.
So the question I have for you once again is like he had Candace Owens on. Like, do you feel like that's a little bit more damaging in terms of spreading potentially anti-Semitic narratives? Or do you think that anti-Semitism is when you feel bad personally, and that could be any number of different things that I've done in any given moment?
Yes, I think you were just as bad as her in your own special way, and that's why
you
guys were hitting that same flavor.
Candace Owens,
yes,
on anti-Semitism in my own special way.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to. He can just say no, but you're a gateway drug. That's all he has to say.
Also,
is, no, you're a gateway drug.
Also, I don't think that Theo Von is like a high tier. Isn't he a moron?
I don't know Theo Von.
Is Theo Von?
I've literally never seen that man in my life.
Okay, well, if you look at a picture,
are we doing the picture thing? Okay, like
Google a picture of him.
Theo Von. Okay, well, I'll do it on my other monitor. So
he's just.
Oh, he's got like a mullet thing going on. Looks like I don't know, and like this kind of like he's struggling to grow a beard. Can't quite do it. Yeah. Okay.
Someone said Theo Von makes Joe Rogan sound like a Rhodes Scholar. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And people are asking, can we fast forward past this portion where they aren't discussing something substantive? Do they discuss what are the substantive portions of this discussion? I don't know. We're watching it for the first time.
We have not.
I don't know. Like I've seen portions. Like, to be clear, I did check it out once or twice while I was waiting to do the stream. But yeah, I don't know if it does get substantive, right? Like, I don't know at all. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Very good.
Cool.
Very good. So let me ask you a question. Hasan, can I ask you a question?
Can you now officially
one of my chat recommended that
not
we
talk
do
about like
1.25 speed?
Oh, we can do that.
Are we able to do that on a live stream?
Yes, we are.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Frogan or anyone else and tell me why I'm anti-Semitic?
Well, we're kind of getting
2
there.
days ago you said I wasn't, but
I
also
for a year,
you're
repeating yourself.
well, I am, because you haven't answered this question.
I have literally
2 days
answered
ago,
it probably
you said I
2
wasn't
times.
anti-Semitic.
The reason
For
that
a
I'm saying you're
year-
anti-Semitic
for
is
a
because how you
year-
responded to my question at the beginning of this interview.
Ethan, for an entire year, you called me a virulent anti-Semite,
No,
a rabid anti-Semite.
never did.
You did. You did.
Did
You went
not.
back and
I
forth
have
on
actually
it. Even
went back
Dan
and checked.
you on it.
I had said
Even-
that you spread anti-Semitism and stuff, but I never called you an anti-Semitic. I went back and
Oh,
checked.
so
You're
I'm just
lying.
simply spreading anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difference.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, can I ask you a
Tier
question?
list, is about Habibi, not Sabr. You're conceding to the framing. Yeah, we're not conceding to anything. I don't want to even talk about the tier list anymore. Stop it. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you, my turn. Do you think it's
All right, your
appropriate to accuse? Do you think it's appropriate to accuse any Jewish person you disagree with of working with the ADL?
No.
Here,
I don't,
for example, is someone using it anti-Semitically.
Saying that Ethan Klein and ADL in unison.
Hasan, let me finish. You're getting ahead of yourself, buddy.
Yes, I do. I do think that that's,
You're getting ahead of
valid
yourself,
thing
man.
that's a valid thing to not only speculate, but also I stand on that for sure.
Hasan, I'm getting there. You're getting ahead of yourself, buddy. Here's an example of it being used in an anti-Semitic way. I'm sure you'll agree. Timeline on that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I heard you.
Who is this? What is this?
This is your fan who ran up on me on Rodeo.
Who the fuck is this guy? My fan?
Yeah.
This
you remember?
Wait, is this the guy?
Yeah, you remember.
Wait. No, this is the guy that you claimed was my fan, right? He was calling me the fucking.
I mean, there's a clip of being like, "Yo, I love this dude." Anyway, who cares if he's your fan or not?
No.
The point is,
Hold on.
No,
you brought this dude
It doesn't
up.
matter. I'm showing him as an example of you.
It does matter.
Okay, fine. He's not a fan. I don't care.
You brought him up. Wait, what do you mean you don't care?
If I brought him up, Hasan, if I brought him up, let me finish my point.
He's not a fan of mine.
Save
Why
it.
did you make it seem like that person was a fan of mine then?
Let me get to there, okay? You asked me.
No,
it's my turn to ask a question. Just because I brought him up doesn't give you the space to interject.
Is it because he rolled?
They're doing this thing where they're trying to jump on a single thing that someone says, and they're not listening to the whole point. But let's keep going because this.
No, this is insane.
He's your fan.
This
He's not
is
my
crazy.
fan. I never said he was your fan, but he is my fan, right? I
don't. What is?
Look, we'll be.
Oh my god.
Does anyone have a timestamp of something better? Like if you watch this, right? Like. I don't know if we could do the whole thing. We'll get it through as much as we can.
Rolled up to me and tried to fucking clout farm? Is that why?
Yes.
At
Okay,
the
thank you very
encampment where I
much.
was very clearly disturbed by his presence?
Hasan, I think you know where I'm going, and I think you're scared. Yep,
Can you answer the question? Why did you falsely claim that this fucking
Because
random dude who
saying
does
he
not
loves
like
you, that you're
me
his favorite
is a
person in the
fan
world?
of
What do you
mine?
mean?
Didn't you use? Wait.
All right, Hasan,
Didn't
here you go,
use
buddy.
him approaching
Here we go. You wanted it, I've got it.
I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sorry.
I love you.
I'm so sorry.
I love you, bro.
I love you, bro.
You're like my girl.
You're the GOAT.
You're the coolest guy in the world.
Does seem like a fan.
Is that the same guy?
Yep, same guy. Does seem like a fan. I love you, bro. Hugging him. I don't know. I don't know if Hasan views him as anything, right? But this guy obviously.
Well,
likes
Hasan probably doesn't remember him
Yeah, probably not.
because the dude has like a lot of people. It's a lot of people that approach him.
Absolutely. But no, it looks like a fan to me. Let's keep going.
Wow, how crazy. I'm fucking. Is this another hysterical delusion?
Yes, it is, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why. Because
wow, dude, I love you. You're the GOAT, bro.
We spent a good deal of our time in the encampment. If you watch the unedited full live stream, we spent a good deal of the entirety of the encampment running away from him because he kept trying to ask me dumbass fucking questions.
Okay, but that's got nothing to do with he's a fan.
Listen, for his own dumbass podcast.
You're derailing this, and I need to.
I'm not derailing it.
You
it's
absolutely
not called derailing.
are.
When I'm telling you, I was there, and I'm telling you the situation.
Very good.
You are nefariously making it seem as though this person is a massive
Do I
fan
need
of
to
mine.
play the clip
who is just
again?
trying to cloud chase.
I'll play it again. You know, fuck.
You can play that clip again.
Oh my god.
Bro, I had
I love you.
subtitles.
Hasan, can I give you a hug?
Can you play the clip where he openly admits he doesn't know who I am and asks people around? Because that also
You're my hero, bro. I love you.
You're the coolest guy in the world.
You're the coolest guy in the world.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one.
I think I look gay in that one.
3, 2,
Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Ethan.
Mm-hmm. You okay?
If you think he was a fan of mine, why'd you call him a Sneeko fan when you interviewed him?
Because he's both. I mean, surely there's crossover.
Oh, there's a crossover.
Do I need to play the video again?
Okay,
I'll do it again. Fuck it.
My producer
I'll
and my
play it again.
camera op, March. My producer and my
Hasan could just say, sure, he's a fan of mine, but I don't stand with everything my fan says. A lot of my fans are bull.
He can't control the way that
Yeah.
the people who view him behave.
True.
I mean, I'm sure we both have insane
yeah.
viewers.
There are people who
that
I
we-
disavow in my chat right now who are my fans, but I disavow them. They are disavowed, right?
Yes.
But I don't know why Ethan is trying to like dodge this point. He could just say, "Yeah, he likes me, but I don't care. don't stand by what he said. I think he's a dumbass. Easy.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't be a discussion, but here we are.
Camera March
I'm
so sweet, bro. There. I'm so sweet. And he's in the chat right now.
You're like you're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay.
Listen, he might not be a fan, but you can't accuse me of being delusional for saying that.
You are delusional.
Okay, very good. I'm delusional. Let me get to my point, please. I mean, so I'm not even asking you to endorse this guy. I'm just simply showing you.
I don't endorse him.
I know you
and
don't.
He's not a fan of mine. So why did you claim that he was a fan of mine? Because he fucking clout chased.
I mean, I feel like
I think we've established he's a fan, whether or not I don't know. But
This
running
just
in circles up.
really,
Hmm?
this whole exchange is just like about the is he a fan or not? Like get on to they
Yeah.
just
it doesn't matter.
these men have a lot of pride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
He's in a fucking Palestinian encampment? That's why? That's all it takes for you?
No, it was when he said, "You're the GOAT. You're my hero. I love you."
He didn't know who I was. He was just saying that so he could fucking ask for
He
an
literally
interview for his
recognized
podcast,
you.
for his POA podcast.
Okay, who cares? I don't care. So let me move
now
on.
you don't
Do you
care.
want to talk about this for 2 hours, or do you want to actually have a conversation?
Like this is wait, well, hold on. You can't just say you don't care all of a sudden when you look like a fucking asshole for falsely claiming that some random person who stalked you is a fan of mine. You said he was a fan of mine in, I believe, in one of your videos.
I lied
You
about
said he
him
was
being
a fan of mine, and I was sending harassment your way.
Yes, very
Don't
good.
you think that's a big point of contention? Don't you feel like this is a big point of contention?
I concede. I want to show you an example of.
Do you see my side of this though?
I think
like
no.
A
You're being
random
dishonest.
a random Sneeko fan comes up to me.
A random Hasan
wants the
fan
clout
comes up
chase,
to you.
and you wants the clout chase, and you turn around and you say that he is a fan of mine to prove a point, to make a false point to imply that I'm sending people to harass you.
That's not what I implied.
That's appropriate.
That's at.
Yeah, I don't feel like that was implied either. Like, I think he's just saying.
I don't think that was implied either. I think he was trying to be like, you're influencing people to say this.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's a very good point. I don't even know because I didn't even get to hear or
we haven't
see
heard what he actually said yet.
We have no idea what was said yet because oh my god,
total lie. I have never accused you of anything of the sort. That is an
So
outright horrific.
You did not imply that this person that was a fan of mine
Yes,
was
I did.
actually harassing you.
Yes. When is it? Now that's a big logical leap, Hasan, from he's a fan of yours to you're sending people to harass me. That's fucking insane. And by the way, I mean you are a liar. You know that, right?
Did he not harass you?
Bro, what are you talking about? Did you send him? Did you send him to harass me? No.
Did he harass you? And then you imply in your video that he was a fan of mine.
Go ahead. When you're done, I'll wait.
Leading the audience to believe. Here, we have a clip, by the way, Dan. If you want to play this supposed fan of mine, since you guys are playing clips over there.
By the way, this was a while ago. He turned on you when he saw that you support trans rights. I know. He spoke ill of you.
No. Even before he actually meets me.
I'm not even mad. I don't care about this guy.
No, well, seemingly you care enough about it that you brought him up here and you used him.
You didn't even let me explain why I'm showing it.
You used him in the past to act like I was sending hate
your way. You're terrified because you know where this is going.
I have no idea where this is going. This has been a journey.
Well, how about you let me fucking speak, and then we can figure out. We can take the journey together.
Can you play this clip though?
So this clip is just an example. Not that you're endorsing him. Not that he's a fan.
Can you play? Dan, I sent you a clip.
I passed it along. It's out of my hands.
It's the
first
introduction of this character onto the stream where he's like, "Who's this guy?"
I'll play it. Yeah.
Pothead or Potman. Was that it? Hey.
I could be on. Are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look Jewish.
No, we're just streaming.
Israeli. I look like Israeli.
We're just the guy. Normally the answer would be yes, but he's busy right now.
What are you guys doing?
They're not there.
We're just streaming. Live stream.
Oh, live streaming?
Yeah.
Do it.
You're not even in this clip, bro. What are you talking about? You're not even present. You're out. You're out playing with swastika swords or something. You're not even in this clip.
Dude, why? Chat. I think he's showing it on his side. You're not seeing the clip. Yes. Yeah. He's
it's really
showing the clip.
okay.
That is the first introduction of this character onto the broadcast, and he doesn't know who the fuck I am. He just sees cameras and goes, "Oh, I would like to do interviews with this person who is famous." It seems that was the whole point. The reason why I showed you that is because he was never a fucking fan, and then when he saw the full extent of my viewpoints, he started calling me the F slur. He's a Sneeko fan.
Hasan, in that clip, he doesn't see you. You're not there.
Ethan, he is a clout chaser and
Fine,
not a
bro.
fan.
I don't care. Who cares? Let me ask you a question.
I do care because
okay, very good.
I do care because you have made an inference.
Oh my God,
erroneous.
Dude. You are dragging your feet on this topic, bro. It's getting ridiculous. Can we please move on?
That is ridiculous.
The clip you sent didn't prove me wrong at all.
We can skip to when they get to the point.
And you were never there.
I wish we had timestamps here.
I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am and like partnering with like the ADL and
partnering with the ADL. You want to unpack that one there, buddy?
Yeah. Again, partnering with the ADL. That is precisely what took place.
I have never spoken to the ADL, so what does that mean?
I'm not saying you directed the ADL
Do you know
to take
how
action.
silly you
Well, actually, you
look?
know what? I am kind of saying that. I am implying that you directed the ADL to take action.
Well, that's a defamatory claim that has zero proof. And frankly, it sounds a little Jewish conspiratorial.
If I thought that you worked for the ADL, I wouldn't have said
not
you worked
spoken
with
to the ADL.
I would have said you worked for the ADL. Now, what's interesting to me, of course,
Hasan,
about this is that
I
you
do
have
not
taken
work with the
credit
ADL.
for these bans.
I don't know. Saying that you partnered with the ADL implies you're working with the ADL. I don't know.
But is that not why we have the politics tag on Twitch now? Is because of the ADL?
Yeah, but what Hasan is implying here is that Ethan Klein directed the ADL or worked with the ADL in order to get that to happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was Ethan Klein and Destiny, and that were getting people involved because they hate Hasan. I thought this was a personal beef. I thought that's why we have the politics tag.
Destiny, maybe. Right? Like Destiny and Dan
and he's
Canstream.
most certainly not Jewish, right? He's not Jewish.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we actually got a timestamp from someone. I don't know if you want to jump to this.
Yes.
Let's do it. Yes. Okay, so 3:17. There's a discussion about purported grape in Palestine. Okay, we can skip to that if everyone's okay with that, because I just don't. I'm gonna do a little 30 seconds. I'm gonna do a little 30 seconds beforehand, just so we get a little context, and we'll go in there. Let's keep going.
Instance in captivity.
Cherry act.
That we have.
I'm not gonna let you cherry act to me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No, I said I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I was just grabbing another soda. Go ahead.
On the pail.
Okay, I feel like we're missing something. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll go back a little bit.
To me that you would watch the context puke with me. So why don't we pull up that bit there and we can see how out of context it is.
Boom. Do it.
Great. Someone pulling that, Dan? How you doing? I'm waiting for the link. You good?
Am I? Oh yeah, I'm great. I don't think this is going the way you perceived it to be going. But
sure. I mean, you're reading your chat. Do you think that's the most accurate way?
I'll be honest with you. I was thinking about being a lot more stern initially, but this has turned into the last conversation that we had, where I am trying to gently nudge you in the direction of sanity.
Ethan, I want you to really understand. You're crazy. You're crashing out. You're hallucinating, my friend. Come sit over here. You know what I mean? Don't ignore this.
Are we here? Are we back?
We're back? Here. We're here.
I don't know what happened.
We're good.
I don't know what happened. Okay, we're good though. We're back. We're back.
We're back.
Okay, let's keep going.
The reason, for the record, the reason why I don't like to bring Gila into the conversation is because I'm addressing my concerns with you, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to, extend the lens of criticism to other people. I mean, that's a little silly
considering you're like, well, actually, it was Hila who influenced your opinion, the evil IDF lady. Anyway.
Okay, while we're waiting for the clip.
No, I got it. Deny the violent rapes that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
I'm grabbing another soda, but I'm hearing you. There is one instance in captivity.
Cherry act.
That we have.
I'm not going to let you cherry act to me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No, I said I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I was just grabbing another soda. Go ahead.
On the pail.
There is one instance in captivity. Did you put a Hamas headband on me?
I sure did.
There is one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified. And people still run with it over and over and over again.
Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped.
I can't see myself, by the way, if you're showing my
You're giggling. You're giggling. It's so funny.
Has a right to defend
itself.
No,
I'm not giggling.
You sure are.
Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
What rapes did Hamas
Stop
do?
Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has committed.
That's something you go to a lot. You notice that? Call people mentally ill. I find that odd. Probably should revise that. I don't know if that's kosher for leftist values.
Horrific acts
of
sexual violence.
I'm not exactly doing a lot of stuff that's kosher for leftist values in general.
So you have no problem weaponizing mental health.
When someone is hallucinating, I think it's appropriate to say that.
By your authority, I will decide who's hallucinating. Hasan.
And girls.
Watch this.
Horrific acts of sexual violence.
Eden.
Hasan, I am so sorry. You promised that we would watch this. I pulled it up. Now sit silently and enjoy.
Okay, but I got the point. You're saying that like you're showing clips of me. You're showing clips of me saying that someone is
men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to Pixar didn't happen. There you go, Hasan. What do you got?
Pixar didn't happen. That's great commentary, by the way. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty apt.
Okay. So let's talk about it. You did actually, I'm surprised, you did actually show my findings on the UN committee report that came out.
The one that you misrepresent continually? That you fucking continually lie about the conclusion?
Report. Wait, what did I misrepresent about the UN preliminary report?
Tell me what it said.
The UN preliminary report was not an investigative report. Like, for example, the investigative report that came out about Israel's systematized sexual assaults that was 49 pages long.
Horrible. What a horrible thing that was.
Yeah.
Unironically.
Absolutely.
Just unacceptable.
The level of evidence in a preliminary report is only enough to actually create an actual investigation. The problem is Israel has denied an actual investigation to take place. Israel has told the United Nations that they are not allowed to do an actual investigation and to simply listen to what they have to say. Now, not only is Israel...
There are literally women who have said, I was raped.
Do you feel like the Israeli government lies?
Do you? I mean, all governments lie. I'm not going to defend Israel.
I agree.
You said there's women that come out and said, I was raped.
What?
There are women on the record, on video, saying I was raped.
Like you're saying, you're saying there are multiple women that are on the record saying I was raped.
Correct.
There is, as far as I understand,
one
instance in
course,
captivity.
As far as you understand, because you don't give a fuck about the reality,
directed by Hamas.
This is hard.
This is rough. And this was something that. Now, mind you, I did do research into this because I was curious and was a little wigged out.
Yeah.
By some of the comments I'd heard from other leftists. It doesn't look like systematic rape occurred, but that there was some rape, which is always bad. And can I be a slightly misandrist for a second?
Misandrist? Go ahead.
Huge issue with men across the political spectrum is that they often do decide that women they don't like deserve sexual violence in some capacity, which is kind of what Hasan did here. Which is, I was very unhappy with, again, because I don't think that
it's
really, it's never good. It's never good.
It is, I think it's telling here. Hasan brings up the report that has been done about the Israeli sexual abuses towards Palestinians and things like that. Mm-hmm. And Ethan has no problem saying, yeah, that's horrible. That's terrible. Shouldn't have happened. Should never have happened. I condemn it 100%. But so far, Hasan's doing backflips to not just say, yeah, any rape that occurred on October 7th was horrific and bad and it should never have happened. It should be that easy to say. It should be that easy to say.
It should be easy to say that. And again, I do feel like a lot of evidence did come out to indicate that there was like something about like the woman in the black dress and the family members were like, hey, actually that didn't happen. And this is like really traumatizing that you guys keep saying that like our deceased mom, sister, daughter was like horrifically raped before she died. Can you guys stop? She wasn't. Again, but there's also denial on, the pro-Palestinian side that anything happened at all. So the way people are
it becomes a political football. It's if you support Palestine, you can never mention the bad things that they do. If you support Israel, you can never mention the bad things that they do, right? Like, and I don't think that's a very healthy way to go at this. I think that we can recognize that both sides have done some terrible things, terrible things, and they're inexcusable. And I think that it's just exhausting when someone can't just say, yeah, it was bad. It was bad that they raped all those people. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
that's it.
I feel like that's a pretty easy for both of them to
Exactly. And I don't know why Hasan, and this is what makes me suspicious about Hasan, is like, why aren't you able to just admit this? What is going on? What is holding you back from just, are you worried that it will give ammo to the other side? Are you worried it would justify Israel's actions here? It won't, right? But I just don't know why. And it's weird that I don't know. So far
Someone in my chat said this is the problem with politics as sports. Cinetex said, my team good, your team bad.
Basically.
And it seems like that's the just intense doubling down with who knows what the goal is.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see what happens, if anything, here.
What?
Well, of course, that's as far as you can conclude because you don't give a fuck about the truth. You just want to do propaganda, remember?
Ethan.
Hasan, please, calm down.
Okay.
You're getting worked up.
I don't know why you're
whoa.
behaving in such a childish manner when we are actually talking about, finally, some serious stuff. Okay?
But, okay.
Okay. In terms of the UN preliminary report and the findings, okay, there is a clear-cut lack of evidence for any forensic examination to take place due to the incompetence of the Israeli government and specifically the organization Zakah that spent most of its time in the immediate aftermath of October 7 taking bodies out of body bags and putting them into Zakah branded body bags. This was reported by Haaretz as well. They polluted the evidence pool. Okay? That's number one. Number two, numerous people that came out and offered eyewitness testimony have since then been discredited, also according to Haaretz reporting.
Which article?
What's
the Haaretz article that accuses victims of sexual assault of lying about it? Go ahead and link me that one. And by the way, while you look for that,
no, not victims of sexual assault, Ethan. I'm using my words very carefully.
Right.
Not
of course,
victims
I remember
of
you do
sexual
that.
Assault. Not victims of sexual assault. Eyewitness testimony initially provided that led people to believe that there were sexual assaults that were taking place.
Show me the source.
Were then discredited.
Show me the source. By the way, Hasan, while you look for that, I'm assuming that you're quoting the UN Representative Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflicts report, right? This is one everyone refers to. Now, are you aware how these kind of papers work? They do a very precise conclusion at the end that summarizes the main thesis and points driven home in the article. That's what the conclusion is. Let me read it for you. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape.
Oh no!
Oh no!
They got the ads.
Oh,
the
no,
ads.
they got us.
Hold on, how do I skip this? Can I skip this ad? Where's the skip button? Oh no!
Do it yourself.
Oh, here we go.
We're
Thank
trapped.
goodness. Okay.
We're locked and they got
Mutilation,
us.
sexual.
That was a weird place to get your sponsorship in. Just FYI.
I know. Just saying, when they're discussing sexual, my God.
Yeah, it's
my God.
Today's sexual assaults brought to you
yeah,
by
sponsorship
yes,
Whick.
that's crazy.
Good God.
But like it's also, there has never been a conflict on the face of this earth where there hasn't been sexually related violence perpetrated by the sides involved.
It is, wartime rape is just everywhere.
It would
whenever
be
war happens.
It would be amazing if it did not happen during this conflict.
It would. It's shocking to hear that it doesn't happen.
It stretches the bounds of my credulity, right? That there would be no sexual assault, no sexual rape, no sexual any of that during this specific conflict. Yeah. It is weird, right? That wouldn't be the case. And again, according to the report, which I remember reading when it came out, they were very clear. They have pretty strong evidence that, and it's not forensic evidence, and I think Hasan played with his words there. No, there's no forensic evidence. They don't have rape kits, right? But they do have enough evidence to, again, reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape and gang rape during the 7th October 2023 attacks. Incredible.
Yeah.
Torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk you
through this. Are they hallucinating?
No. So you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
It means that there's, of course.
Credible circumstantial evidence is not a substitute for forensic evidence. Credible
That's why I said Pixar didn't happen, bro.
Not
You need
enough
rape
to
kits.
prosecute.
Hasan needs
Credible
rape kits.
circumstantial evidence is not enough.
Pixar didn't happen, right?
Prosecute rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that in the absence of a singular victim coming out, and also with all of the forensic evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
That's not. Show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter. Believe all women. Hey, are we believing all women unless they're Israeli? Right after October 7th Hamas attack in Israel, Zaka, the disaster victim identification volunteers, were among the first civilians responding on the scene. Zaka is an Israeli rescue and recovery organization primarily staffed by ultra-Orthodox Jewish volunteers, known for their work in collecting human remains for proper burial according to Jewish law. I think what happened is, a lot of what happened is that well, obviously you don't rape someone and then keep them alive, right? So most of them were murdered, and a lot of the forensic evidence.
I'm sending Dan the PBS article about how 2 debunked accounts of sexual violence on October 7th fueled the global dispute over Israel-Hamas war. This is from May 22nd, 2022. This is about the witness testimony that was discredited. Okay,
but so even if one account was discredited, there's many.
No, it's not one account; it's 2 accounts. But the rest
there's way more than 2 accounts. Hasan, you know what you're doing? You're like, this girl lied about being raped, therefore all these women need to be questioned. That's actually what you're doing. You're saying Pixar didn't happen. I don't believe women if they're Israeli.
Can you point me to actual to victims that came out?
Yes.
Because as far as
do we need to have like a conviction in court to say someone probably raped someone? I don't know if we do, but that's
I don't think we do, and I feel like they need to just come to an understanding, agree that yes, you know, the news did sensationalize the sexual violence that took place, but sexual violence most likely took place because it was a conflict. It's war. They just need to, I don't know.
It's weird, but let's keep going.
I understand, Israeli police have asked victims and witnesses to testify about Hamas and sexual violence in the aftermath of October 7, and it seems like their investigations were inconclusive because by the admission of the Israeli prosecution,
show me evidence of anything you're saying.
They openly said that there were no victims that came out.
Yeah, let me guess. You read it on Haaretz.
You don't wait. Do you think that Haaretz is not a credible institution of journalism at this point?
No, but you guys lean on that. You just lie about what it says because it sounds credible.
Who is you guys?
You and all of your fucking dumbass cohorts that do the same typical rhetorical tools to just say whatever the fuck you want without ever having to back it up or knowing what you're talking about in the least bit. So show me the evidence. Haaretz boy.
I sent the debunked narratives, and also here is the Israeli prosecutor Moran Gitz has acknowledged that 15 months after the events of October 7, 2023, Israel has still not identified any victims in which a case can be brought against an alleged perpetrator of a sexual attack.
They're all dead.
The admission is in line with the complete lack of any credible evidence regarding incidents of sexual violence, which is particularly notable when these claimed. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this foundation is, but there is news reporting on this. I don't know why someone sent me this link of this.
Do you think what is your point? What you said doesn't change anything. You're talking about. Do you think that they raped people and then didn't kill them?
You said that there are victims. Can you give me the names of the victims?
Yes.
I will. First of all, I am not in the business of denying rape. If there are victims that have come forward in this process,
I will play it for you.
As I've said, there was an instance of sexual assault that took place in captivity. And it was not the systematized rape that was directed by Hamas, as the New York Times' erroneous reporting that did not meet its own standard, its own editorial standard, as a matter of fact, written by a person who literally was taken off the editorial board, taken off the actual paper for some of her insane tweets about Gaza. None of these, there's a lot of stories surrounding this, but I'm not in the business of fucking denying rape. So if you have credible evidence, please present it. And I will admit that I'm wrong. Give me the names.
There's a video. Hold on.
Is the video from Screams Without Violence? Is that where you're gonna present?
No, it's not from that. There's one recently of a woman testifying. I think it was either in the UN or to Congress. She's sitting on a bench. She's talking to a mic, and she's speaking in English. Yeah, we'll get there. I mean, what's your problem with Sheryl Sandberg's documentary?
Sheryl Sandberg has also been accused of sexual harassment herself, but
kind of a weird dodge. Well, she also got accused of sexual violence, so we can't really believe her. Lawson Harrison for $20. Hashtag believe all Gentiles. Thank you for the $20.
Someone, F. Fish in my chat said, I would liken it to when the Soviet commissars spent their time demonizing the German people in the closing days of World War II. This led to increased savagery from Soviet troops against German civilians. Do you mean like the... Like the... I don't even know. I'm so tired.
I'm sorry.
Let's just keep watching.
Yeah, okay.
Side of that,
what does that have to do with what's written in her documentary?
Her documentary is basically the unsubstantiated claims that some of which were directly found to be incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
But not only is it unsubstantiated claims, it's just a recycling of the same screams without violence, the screams without words article that the New York Times wrote that didn't even meet its own editorial standard. Okay, we're having this conversation. You seemingly.
He's got his hands full with the new.
Why are there ads now?
600.
I think because the stream ended.
Meanwhile, one of the hostages that actually was returned in the early stages did get raped by an Israeli fitness instructor.
You know,
I have not seen you talk about that. I have not seen you talk about the
talk
Israeli
about
pro-rape
a crime
riots
that
that
an
took
Israeli
place.
did unrelated to the conflict.
Israel
Do you find
had
it
a
interesting?
January
There's something
6th
that I
style. Israel had a January 6th style pro-rape riot where a bunch of rabid right-wing.
Do you think I'm defending this? Why are you? I'm not defending this.
The prosecutor's office and forcibly with guns took out 6 concentration camp prison guards from the Sde Taman facility that had actually raped numerous Palestinians on camera.
Are you done grandstanding? Here's a victim
one that they raped to death.
Are you done? Here's a victim you asked for. Here we go. This is from. I think there was an even more recent one than this, but where's the audio? Fuck. Hold on, let me unmute.
Unable to move and had to ask for permission to use the bathroom. In that house, I was sexually assaulted by the Hamas terrorist who had guarded me. He forced me to go to the shower and entered the room, pointed his gun at me. He was breathing heavily and had a monstrous beast-like face. He meticulously planned his assault, scheming and waiting for the moment to have his way. He kept asking me private sexual questions while sitting next to me in his underwear, lifting my shirt, touching me, and constantly asking me when my period would be over.
Sorry, just to butt in here. Is she lying yet or no? Is she lying or hallucinating?
Ethan, have I ever said that rapes did not take place, at least according to one credible personal testimony in captivity, not on October 7, but in captivity?
Kind of, yeah. Yes.
Over.
You're doing it right now.
What do you mean?
I know exactly what he was planning to do.
He is kind of like minimizing it at the very least.
He is minimizing it at the very least, which is like not. And he also did that initially when he said it doesn't matter with the.
Look, you don't have to be on Israel's side because Hamas did a bad thing, but
you could say it like it just admit that it. I don't know, and I don't. I get the sense that neither of them really care about sexual violence very much, because this feels like a million gazillion gotchas in a row.
They hate each other, and
they hate each other.
They're basically trying to tear each other apart. Win. Yes, and win. Yes, I agree with you on that. I agree that all this is about.
This
winning.
Is ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
and yet I couldn't do anything to prevent
Wait, pause it for a second.
No. Listen to what she has to say, Hasan.
Hasan,
don't silence her. Let her fucking talk.
No,
because you're acting like this never happened, that it's exaggerated, that everybody's lying, that Israelis are just inherently evil monsters that are responsible for everything bad that's ever happened. Listen to her.
Cry or to be sad.
Listen to her words.
I had no one to comfort me and was forced to act nice to the person who had just sexually
Listen to this victim. Show her some respect, Hasan.
Horrifying way.
Oh, it's so gross
Not
the
a
way
day
you're
goes
doing
by
this.
that I don't think about what that terrible man did to me.
It is.
We were held in such
show respect, bro.
Brother. That is fucking
gross. No person
gross.
should ever be subjected
Dan,
to such
fucking plug on this. Holy shit.
Now,
you really have no problem speaking over a rape victim when they're Israeli.
Dude, you don't give a fuck about rape. Look, what are you doing? Look at what you're doing. I never said that no one ever got sexually assaulted in
First
captivity
male rape survivor of Hamas on October 7th.
I literally said in the video,
a man who was stripped naked and raped by Hamas on October 7th has revealed for the first time how he was spat on and humiliated as his murderous rapist laughed. The victim, only identified as Initial D, is the first man to speak about the sexual assault he and others experienced when Hamas elite the Nakba unit massacred, kidnapped, and raped innocent people enjoying the Supernova music festival. They pin you down to the ground. You try to resist.
Hold on, Desolate Mirror, I don't think you can say that. I'm going to delete that comment because I'll just time you out.
Oh my god.
I understand though. I get it, but I don't think you can say that. I won't repeat what he said, but yeah, I don't think you can.
I just checked it.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, don't think you can say that. Sorry, buddy. I still love you. But yeah, you can't say that. Anyway.
They take off your clothes, laugh at you, humiliate you, spit on you. Said the victim who's hold on.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to my words.
They touch my
very
private
carefully,
parts, they
because
rape
you're not going through this in a dignified way, and I think it's very gross. What you're doing here is simply weaponizing a victim
you are so
as a fucking prop. A victim that I also acknowledged. Okay?
Silence.
And you know I acknowledged it because you posted it in your video that you just showed me.
Here's the clip.
Reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
You're doing it matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were in hiding and heard.
Oh, yeah. Ethan,
are you denying that?
I understand the point Hasan is trying to make here about, oh, you're weaponizing this. But at the same time, I think it's perfectly acceptable and okay to say, look what you said about these people and look what they're actually saying and doing. You're minimizing this. This is what actually happened. Here are their testimonies. Here are their words. I don't think that's a prop. I think it's perfectly okay to say that. I think it's perfectly okay to call people out on that. On their words, right? They're minimizing of these things. I don't think that's gross at all. What are your thoughts here? I'm just really curious.
This is so messy. I do think that this is a bit gratuitous, but I think because Hasan didn't really very much put his foot in his mouth when all this stuff came out and is not using any tact at all when discussing sexual assaults that occurred. So because Ethan was, immediately was like, yes, it is bad when Israeli soldiers rape. It's just, yeah, Hasan looks bad here. And I don't think that, I don't know if there's a good way to, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ indeed.
In the beginning, I'm going to use my words very carefully here. In the beginning, you said on October 7th, there were numerous victims of sexual violence that you said, not me, you said that there were numerous victims of sexual violence that actually came forward. So I ask you for names of the numerous victims of sexual violence on October 7th. Because
wait, hold on.
Said that there was no sexual assault that took place.
Wait, you're saying they have to have been on
that report. I looked at that same UN report and said that there was valid, credible, first-hand testimony on sexual assault.
I wish you had the energy you have
was not on October
for
7th.
the Israelis raping people. As I wish you had the same energy for the fucking Palestinian terrorists raping people. I wish you had the same energy.
Because I can't invent rapes. You have not given me any names. What are you
showing
talking
you
about?
people and names. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What's with my people and names? I don't understand.
Of the victim.
If there are
just
victims,
because you need your heroes. You know what? This is not going anywhere. Let's just move on. Yeah, let's just.
What do you mean?
I will say,
go ahead.
I do think that both of them are kind of weaponizing sexual assault right now. I think that this is mutually. This is, for some reason, I just don't get the sense that either of them care too much. This is about getting one, over the other. This isn't like.
That's a fair criticism, I think.
Doing much,
But it's hard because I do think that it deserves criticism. I do. I think that we should be able to criticize Hasan for his takes here, and the problem is anytime we try to criticize Hasan for any of his takes, he's like, oh, well, it's you. He retreats to this. Well, I didn't say that no rapes happened. I said that no systemic rapes happened. Oh, I'm not denying that there might have been some, but I think X, Y, and Z. Again, it's playing in the gray, and it's a problem.
Yeah.
I
feel like he could have effectively sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let you go as soon as I do. But again, I think the compare and contrast here is Ethan is really quick. Yeah, it's terrible what the Israelis are doing, and Hasan does gymnastics to kind of like dance around it, and he doesn't have to qualify, throat clear. He can just say rape's bad. It's the easiest thing in the world.
He really could have just done that and been like literally, if I were in his shoes, I would have said rape is bad, wartime rape is horrible. Though I do think that, I don't think that there was systematic, rape that occurred on October 7th. I think that's all that needed to be said. I think that could have just ended that conversation right there. Who
knows, right? They're mad at each other, so they're
mad at each other, so they're using anything they can to just like shit on each other.
Yes.
It's bad.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna finish this. By the way, it
is okay if you need to end.
But we're gonna go a little bit longer. We're gonna go a little bit longer. So we'll see. If you guys have better timestamps or any timestamps you want us to cover specifically, please.
Just move on from this. This is a major point of contention. You have falsely smeared me as a rape denier when you yourself, the one evidence
you deny mass rapes happened, and you're doing it right now.
The instance of sexual violence in captivity
I just showed you two
that we know of up until this point.
Showed you two.
You and I both agree.
Okay.
Your dream mattress is within reach. Shop the Memorial Day mattress sale at Raymore and Flanagan Sleep Center.
Not that rapes happened. Listen to my words.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do
good. Well, there you go.
Because there is no evidence. And
I just showed you two.
The clips that you used, ironically enough, the reason why I say it's out of context is because at that point, I personally took a position where I said very carefully and very deliberately that mass rapes that are directed by Hamas did not happen. There was no evidence for this whatsoever.
4 survivors told authorities they were sexually assaulted on October 7th. Report. First-hand account of such crimes have been rare, as most victims were killed. Hasan. Report follows earlier testimony from a man who said he was raped by terrorists at the Nova Festival. 4 people have told authorities that they were sexually assaulted by terrorists on October 7th. Channel 12 reports. On Thursday, adding to a growing body of evidence of the systemic sexual assault committed by Hamas. Unlike most of the previous evidence of sexual assault on October 7th, which was largely based on eyewitness testimony, the Channel 12 report is notable because it is based on first-hand accounts of victims. You can yawn all you want. First-hand testimony of such crimes has been rare because the victims have been killed. Dipshit.
Okay, Ethan,
they fucking kill them. According to the report, 4 individuals approached the welfare minister with their account.
Sorry, no way to actually examine.
Sorry, talk about being gross. Listen to these victims.
When someone is murdered, there's no way to do forensics evidence to actually
you know
conclude,
the fucking answer to that.
Actually conclude
because
that person was sexually assaulted.
You know that the religious organization that is first responders that you cited has a policy of burying the bodies to avoid disgracing them. That's
Ethan, you just said dozens of victims came out in that article.
I'm reading you. What are you doing, bro? I'm showing you the evidence that you're wrong right now. According to the report, 4 individuals approached the welfare ministry with their accounts of what happened to them during the Hamas onslaught, which saw blah, 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 1,200 people killed and 250 kidnapped. The report followed a separate Channel 12 story on Wednesday that provided first-hand testimony from a man who said he was raped by terrorists at the Supernova, where hundreds of people were killed. Are they all lying? There are 5 people here. There's 3 that approached the ministry and 1 man who said he was raped. Are these all liars?
I don't know. I don't think they are. I have no reason to believe that they are. But from everything that I have seen, from everything that I've read on this, and I have read extensively on this, as far as forensic examination has been concluded, there is no evidence, no hard evidence of sexual assault. And
the weird thing to say. You have a bunch of people coming up testifying, I was assaulted, I was raped, I was hurt, I was done this, I saw it happen to other people. And he's like, well, they don't have rape kits, so, I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, I think Hasan did say the right thing, and then Ethan kind of kept pushing. He said, I think stuff happened, but that it wasn't like Hamas wasn't given the order. Rape as many people as that was, and.
But doesn't that make it kind of worse that they just decided to do it on their own spontaneously? I mean, like without orders.
That's unfortunately, again, wartime.
Yes.
That is American soldiers.
Oh, absolutely.
Done that. Soldiers around the world. Men just do, unfortunately, in conflict, this is what happens, and it's always bad, and it's never okay.
Yeah, we can just condemn it. It's easy. And like any American soldier who has committed rape against anyone is terrible, should be prosecuted, should be put in a jail cell, right? We it's easy. It's easy to say. It's easy to say that happens. It shouldn't happen, and we should prosecute those who do it. Again, it's weird. It's weird that they fight against this so hard. But let's keep going.
Yeah.
I will give you a clip from a Haaretz article
this is so
that was posted by Lisa
here comes the Haaretz article. I just read you firsthand testimony of 4 people. What are you doing? You're saying that you're not believing the victims.
Ethan,
you're asking for pics or it didn't happen.
It's not that I'm not believing the victims.
You said, where's their bodies? Pics or it didn't happen.
You have mentioned, since
you're saying pics or it didn't happen.
Okay,
right?
Since the article that you mentioned came out, there have been further prosecutions on this. Why have they not led to any real prosecution?
They're dead. They're fucking dead, you moron. What do you mean?
First-hand testimony in this regard.
You killed all the fucking Hamas operatives in Israel.
I killed them?
What? Why are you
saying
okay?
You killed them?
I said they. Why the fuck would I say you killed them? That's insanely stupid. Are you okay? Hallucinating. Are you crashing out? Go ahead.
Maybe I misheard you. I'm pretty sure you said you killed them.
Sometimes when you're under stress, you can mishear things, but that's okay. I understand.
I might be my mistake. I have you on much lower volume because my volume is very low.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's a misunderstanding.
That's part of the reason why I do ask over and over again what you're saying.
That's fine. I understand. I want people to hear what we're saying, so that's totally fair.
If you're saying,
are you done, or you want to keep going?
Gaslighting, you just clip it and send it to me, chat. It's that simple. Okay, and you probably said it by mistake, even if you did, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, we done with this one?
Okay. No, we're not done with this at all.
Go ahead. I just read 4
because the question I have for you is very simple. Okay.
Oh, if I said you, I misspoke. That's my bad. By the way, I may have actually said you.
It's fine.
I apologize.
You misspoke. I don't care. Yeah. Let's move on.
Just want to make sure.
Let's get back to the actual main point of contention here.
The liars. Pixar didn't
There
happen.
have been no rape allegations filed in the October 7 attacks. Not one. Okay. And
filed. Okay.
This is a goofy point because, like they're not. Who's gonna prosecute?
They're not putting them on trial.
They're dead. Like Ethan is right. They are dead.
Yeah, they are.
And they would probably not get a trial. They would just get killed. Like that's kind of the thing is that they are just like killing Hamas on site. Like, so I don't know what the this
wait, you didn't file charges in the court about the guy who it's weird. $5 from Benjamin to say $5. Happy Friday, Whick. Is it a happy Friday, gang? You guys need to give me more money to make it more happy. That's all I'm saying. Like, you keep giving me your money and I'll be more happy. We'll have a happiness meter and we'll get there. But let's keep going. Unless you have more thoughts on this.
No, this one I feel like is one we could almost scooch past because they're just. I feel like.
How long do they? Like Ethan keeps trying to get off of this subject, and Hasan is like, "No, we need to discuss it more." You know what? I'm going to bump it up to 1.5. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
And this is from Ynet, speaking to Moran Gatz, who I posted about earlier. Moran Gatz is the Southern District Prosecutor's Office in Israel. Okay. She was a member of the Team 7110, responsible for cases involving captured Palestinians in connection with October 7th attacks. On investigations related to sexual violence, she says, in the end, we don't have any complainants. What was presented in the media compared to what will eventually come together will be entirely different, either because the victims were murdered, okay, this is what they're saying, or because women who were raped aren't willing to expose it. That she excludes here another explanation, says Dropsite News, that no rapes occurred. We approached women's rights organizations and asked for cooperation. They told us that no one had approached them. There were parents who reached out to organizations asking what to do if something happened to their daughter, but they didn't reveal the abuse. So the question I have for you is this, okay? The question I have for you is this.
Dove, Man Plus Care, whole body PO protects you everywhere.
I hate it.
That's so fucking funny.
Is this the question? You guys are asking me to slow down.
But there's no forensic examination. There has been no justice for these victims in Israel on October 7 due to the fact that the government completely ruined. Okay, the government completely ruined any sort of forensic examination that could have taken place. There is no way to actually bring justice to these victims. Your assessment on this is so off base.
Hasan, are you listening?
You think
for first-hand victims. I just read it to you.
Okay, but
you know what? You're right.
I don't think they need forensic evidence. I think the evidence they have is fine. I think it's okay to say that happened.
I think it's okay to admit that there were some cases of wartime rape. Like that, I feel like that is, again...
And they don't need to have gone to court to say
it's an armed conflict. Like it's going to happen. It doesn't change that, again, the atrocities Israel is committing against the Palestinian people. It doesn't change.
Right? It doesn't, because Hamas raped some Israelis doesn't make it okay that the IDF is killing children. It doesn't, right?
Yeah,
but it's weird to deny what is happening and say it didn't happen. Like, here's the thing. Like, if Israel was just killing Hamas and only Hamas, I don't think anyone would have a problem with, well, maybe Hasan would, but I wouldn't have a problem with it. No one would have a problem with it. Those guys attacked Israel. They should die, right? They killed civilians. They need to be dead. It's just, I don't know. It's so messy. 20 euros, pounds from RPG to say, here's some drinking money to help you recover from this brain rot. I'm going to need it. Thank you for the 20 pounds.
You're right. Let's err on the side of these victims lying. Let's err on the side. No, you're totally right. This is the progressive way. Let's err on the side of these people lying instead of believing them. Let's do that. And
no,
they're all
I'm
lying.
not saying that they're lying. I'm telling you, my confusion on this comes from the fact that
it's not confusing. It's obvious. Most of the shit happened were killed, and it's a religious part of this first responding unit that they bury the bodies immediately to avoid humiliating them. It's all explainable.
What?
Yes. If you don't know that, then you are like woefully misinformed. Which just
dude, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Oh, it doesn't matter. There has to be a forensic examination.
Pixar didn't happen. They buried the body.
No, not Pixar didn't happen. You don't think that the victims deserve justice?
Yes.
So I do get Hasan's point a little bit, because there's someone in my chat right now that I know for a fact has described Muslims as all rapists and evil and just inclined to do those things. I can almost understand why Hasan is like, doesn't want to budge, because again, there is an issue which specifically with, I think it's typically against like Black men, Latino men, Arab men of portraying those men as these dangerous wild animals that are going to rape all your women. And then it makes it almost impossible to, deal with scenarios in which a white woman is raped. It just becomes the messiest situation in the entire world. But that doesn't make what Hasan is doing okay. It's just that, like,
I look, it does no one any favors to deny the bad things that happen when bad things are done by white men, by women, by black men, by Mexicans, by Muslims, by Christians. It does not, just because there are crazy people who will make it crazy, if you try to cover it up, it makes it worse. It gives them more ammo. Like, look, they're always running cover for the Muslims that do the violence. Look, they must be hiding things. Why are they hiding things?
Yeah.
And the best defense to any of that is just to be clear, concise, and honest at all times. Say, this is what happened.
Yes.
This is who did it. And just give the facts. But we try to cover it up. We try to cover it up, and it makes it worse.
Yeah, so as an LGBT person, I am very cagey to talk about. I'm personally extremely cagey to talk about queer and trans rapists. I'm very cagey about it, not because I want to protect those people, but because I know that the second, a drag queen does actually molest a kid, well, then it's, we were right to hate these people, and they should all die.
Not like if you saw if you saw 100% evidence,
oh yeah, of course, without a doubt, I would, yeah. But I understand almost the hesitance and kind of like the extreme discomfort, because you know that there are people that but it doesn't, you're right, you know, like it doesn't help anyone, and it's
hurts
bad.
In fact, it hurts.
It
what I
hurts.
was
It does hurt.
It would hurts. Like, so I understand the caginess, but like this is the same on a much lesser scale, to kind of maybe tone it down just a smidge here. A lot of people were saying, why are you criticizing the Democrats when Trump is running for office? Aren't you just giving ammo to the other side when you criticize the bad things that the Democrats do? My answer to this has been, will be, and always will be, it is important for us to criticize our side first so we can get ahead of it. And we can say, look, we condemn the bad actors on our side. And when we try to run cover or what about or pretend it didn't happen, it makes it look like we're covering up, and it's going to be larger than what it actually is. Because, like, well, they're what else are they hiding, right? What else are they covering up? What else are they keeping back? So I think, again, just like in politics, in any of these situations, clear, quick, accurate, honest. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
So let's unless you have something else on this, we can keep going.
No. I agree. It just, in the sense that I understand his hesitance. For me, it's maybe a bit more personal than it is for him. Because for me, it's like, it's like my group, you know what I mean? In the sense that, like, I could face those sorts of, like, I could be labeled as such.
The discriminator.
Whereas, you know, Hasan is. Yeah. No. Like, I could be,
Are you worried you're going to be labeled a sex predator? I think that, like,
no, I'm not worried. I haven't done anything, but, you know, like the ultra homophobic, transphobic people that think we're all predators. I mean, yeah, of course, that's like a stereotype about us, that it almost becomes like a, you know, like you do. And of course I have been a witness against a gay rapist. So like, believe me, I do go to bat. I always will, but it's like it's almost a thing where you don't win. You can't win. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think
maybe.
So.
I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself super duper well.
That's fine. It's a sensitive topic and it's fraught. So I get it.
Yes. But, extremely broad.
Yeah. But let's we'll see. We'll go another about 15 minutes, I think, and then I thought this was gonna be an hour. Okay, but
I thought so too. I thought they had an hour, but they just argued.
They just kept going. I wonder how much of it is just them screaming at each other. We'll see.
What's wrong with you? Do you know that these victims deserve justice? Why did Israel refuse an outside investigative committee?
How do you explain these four accusers?
Under normal circumstances,
how do you explain
the United
these four
Nations
accusers?
or a third party
How do you explain these four
and conduct an investigation?
How do you explain the four accusers?
I don't know.
Okay, very good.
How do you explain the prosecutor after those four accusers? My information is more relevant because it's new. It's newer. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I
guess we're at an impasse here. I mean, listen, Hasan, we're at an impasse.
Can we move on? Something that I don't know about when the prosecutor, do you think the Israeli Southern District prosecutor actually did not examine the testimony given by these victims?
If you don't know what happened in the four accusers, why are you speaking so confidently?
Because I'm speaking
you're a liar.
about
You're a propagandist and you fucking hate Israelis. Can we move on, please? This is obviously at an impasse.
No.
Oh my God, I'm just trying to consider the audience. Everybody wants something else. I'm telling you, dude. This is exhausting.
You have claimed falsely that I do not recognize the testimony of a sexual assault that took place in captivity.
Yes.
That was false.
Yep,
Do you
it was
admit
false.
that?
Yep, she lied. It was false, etc.
No. It's a falsehood that you claim that I don't recognize that. Do you admit that?
Yes, 100%. Can we move on?
Wait, so you're admitting that you falsely smeared me as someone who is denying a verifiable claim of rape from a first-hand account, and it's not from October 7th.
Okay, yes, I'm smearing you. Can we move on, please?
Okay.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Can you explain this tweet to me? This is your tweet, and I'd like you to summarize it for me. Here it is. You said, go ahead, you can read it for me and explain the picture.
I can't. I don't know where it is.
So you can't see it?
Oh,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay, very good. I guess is just a little delay for him, Dan? Or?
No, I can see it. Bro really said my lived experience in Israel proper. Great.
What's the picture?
This is Zone of Interest. You're familiar, yes?
Explain for the audience what this picture entails.
So this is Zone of Interest, which is a Oscar award-winning movie depicting the banality of evil during a literal Holocaust taking place, the monotony of the day-to-day existence, the beautiful garden.
And your implication is what?
Rudolf Hess and his family put together.
And your implication
in the backdrop, you can see
is
there
what?
is a concentration. There's a concentration camp, Auschwitz.
Your implication
and, there's a
to
train
me
that
is what?
most likely inferred to be sending.
This is the clip you're responding to. Hold on. Like it's completely based on my. I actually don't know where it is, but I said we know what it was. I just said Israel proper, right? I said my lived experience in Israel proper.
Can you
explain
play the clip?
It's 2 minutes, and I don't know where this happens. If somebody can find out.
No, play the clip. Play the full thing. We have time. I'm not going nowhere.
Well, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I want to watch it too. It's just.
I know you do.
Let's see here. I don't. Here, I'll just play. Oh, this is a clip from the critically acclaimed Content Cop. How's that working out? You think Ian's happy he made that video?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to him about it.
I mean, he put out a really big video. I mean, I would be stoked.
I don't know why you're asking me about what iDubbbz is thinking. But I mean, I assume. I mean, it performed pretty well. I think it doubled your video. So
yeah, I mean,
it's not that bad.
If anything, I think it just means that more people are interested in me than you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I believe that for sure.
Very good.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people, some falsely and some for decent reasons, wants to.
Do you want to look at the like ratio?
Someone put you down a peg. It's probably the reason why there's a lot of people watching this conversation as well.
Do you want to watch the Do you want to watch the?
Get your rental car just to 6 hours.
Do you want to skip to the end?
Hi.
Huh? Do we skip to the end?
Do you want to like go towards the end?
We can get closer there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Here.
I'm just
chat.
curious how.
Oh, just real quick, chat. Make a note of the timestamp. 2:53. I might do another solo episode where I do the rest on my own. But let's go kind of to the end-ish. What do you think? Here? Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you have a specific timestamp you want to go to, or hello?
Me?
Yeah. Do you have a specific timestamp?
I'm not sure. I mean, we could look at like the last 15 minutes, maybe.
We are in the last.
Like, just like, how do they wind down? Like, I want to see how this argument winds down.
Let's find out.
He stayed in fucking prison was because he refused to disavow violence, because he understood that as long as
sabotage is violence.
Revolution
I didn't say
is
he's a pacifist.
impossible,
I never said he's a
violent
pacifist.
revolution is inevitable.
Yeah, and I never said he's a
revolution
pacifist.
They did do.
$5 from Dragar 99. Let them fight. Thank you. They're talking about Nelson Mandela here. Are you familiar with Nelson Mandela at all?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, in his debate with Sam Cedar, which I have only seen clips of, I haven't seen the full debate. Nelson Mandela was referenced, and Hamas was compared to Nelson Mandela, and I think that's what they're arguing about here, based on context clues, right? But I'm not sure. The funny thing about Nelson Mandela, he was a Zionist. He supported the PLO, but he also supported the state of Israel and its right to exist. And he said so a few times. And he didn't use the word Jews, he used Zionists, right? Like he said he supported the Zionist project. But he also supported the PLO, and he did consider what Israel was doing is very bad. So it's a weird it's a weird
that is
person
very
to bring up. He has a very complex relationship with Israel. So
yeah, that is strange.
Yes, you guys can look it up. There's quotes of him, there's video clips of him saying this, and you can find it. But let's see what they have to say.
You know what's funny?
In terms of the death and destruction on the apartheid structure, by the way,
Nelson
it is
Mandela
incomprehensible to compare that to Israel's violence against the Palestinians.
I promise I didn't pre-watch. Okay, I promise I didn't pre-watch this part. But apparently Ethan's gonna play the clip for us. Yes.
The Palestinians is far worse. And by the way, that's not my assessment. What Israel has done to the Palestinians for the past 76 years is infinitely worse.
Well, let's ask someone to live through apartheid.
By the way, that is the assessment of Mandela. And for all the, for all of the moments that he was able to fucking see.
You think Mandela said what's happening is worse than what we went through? That's bullshit. Why would he say that? That's on your liar.
Why would he say that? Because it's true, Ethan.
Okay.
That's why.
Is Nelson Mandela a Zionist?
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Are you going to say in 1999 he said Israel has a legal right to exist?
More
in
than
that same speech, you're fucking clip him.
Remember that you called this guy a neo-Nazi, not fit to be a dog catcher. That's what you said about Nelson Mandela.
What are you talking about? Whoa, you're jumping off like a million different points.
The right of Israel to exist as a state legally. We have stood quite openly and firmly for the right of that state to exist within secured borders.
You disagree with that statement?
Israel has a right to exist, not in the way that it currently does.
Within secure borders.
Hold on.
Coward.
Do you know what he says after that clip?
Yeah, that he also thinks that Palestinians also need to be acknowledged, which, by the way, is my fucking point.
No, not that.
Palestinian liberation and Israeli borders are two sides of the same coin.
Ethan, he didn't just say Palestinians also need to be acknowledged. He says that if peaceful means of coexistence is impossible, then violence is inevitable, Ethan. Why did you clip that out of the fucking clip chimp?
Because it's irrelevant. Did you say that clip chimp Nelson Mandela?
Yes, you literally did. You cut him out of context.
No, he's a Zionist. What do you mean? Like he's talking philosophically. He's talking philosophically.
He's irrelevant. We're having a conversation about Nelson Mandela and whether or not he actually believes in violence. Whether or not he actually believes in violence. You have said time and time again that he was a peaceful dove. He's never actually done any violence whatsoever. There are numerous instances
Inevitability, a philosophical warning is not an endorsement.
So Nelson Mandela also avoided targeting civilians, and when civilians were hurt, he punished those who were involved, and the people who did hurt the civilians were held to account. Like, Nelson Mandela was not a pacifist. He did target the structures, the people supporting the apartheid, the soldiers and all that, and he did bomb and sabotage and all these things, and civilians were hurt in the attacks of this. But the difference between them and Hamas is Hamas specifically targets civilians. Like, they go out of the way to target civilians.
But Israel does as well. They go out of their way to,
I understand,
kind of terrorize and torment.
I understand.
Like, I did do my research on this, the conditions of the Palestinian people before October 7th. They do go out of their way to, and I think that if I were a Palestinian, if that was the situation my people were in, I hope to God I never have to be in that situation. Sure. I would probably not care if someone was a civilian or not.
I don't think that's good, though. I think that we can.
No, it's really bad. It's horrible. It's bad. Yeah. It's awful that this is the situation.
I don't think not every group, rebel group, freedom fighter group, whatever you want to call them, are good and act good. It is bad when the IDF does things against civilians. It's condemnable. We should not do that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if we're going to be putting ourselves in people's shoes, like, remember, they went years, the Israeli people, because it is before Netanyahu got to power. They had a pretty left-leaning government, at least for a little bit, right? They were so left-leaning, the right-leaning people in Israel assassinated them. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head. He was working with...
Yeah, Netanyahu funded... He supported Hamas a lot, right? Netanyahu? Did he not, when they were being elected in 2005?
They do rely on each other to exist, right? Hamas would not have power.
Right, so that, like, the cycle of violence is continued.
Wouldn't have power without Hamas. But, like, if you're an Israeli, and every day for years, there are people blowing themselves up in school buses, blowing themselves up in markets, blowing themselves up in schools, and, I mean, like... At what point, if you're living in that, do you think, well, no, just lock them in this place. Just don't let them in. We don't know who's the ones with bombs and who's not, right? And it's not good that they think that. It's not good, but we can understand, right?
Kind of, but I think that I would really have to, in that situation, I don't know, how aware is the average Israeli of, like, the just really... shit conditions that the Palestinians are forced to live in? Like, how do they know? Like, is the average Israeli aware that they're, like, literally only as much food that is, like, able to keep a human alive is allowed into Palestine, essentially? Like, that they're cut off from the waters? Like, there's all this, like, insane bullshit that they are put through. I think that they're
pretty aware, I could imagine. But I think that they're, again, they would say, well, everything we send them is shot back at us as rockets. Like, everything, right? Everything that we send them, everything we give them is used as a weapon against us. And again, not saying it's good, not praising it, not saying it's something we should emulate, not saying that they should do this. I'm just saying, if we are going to understand the plight of the Palestinian who might rise up and do violence against their oppressors, we have to understand the plight of the civilian in Israel who might support a tyrannical regime that is trying to protect it, or at least says it's trying to protect it, from a group who seems to just want to kill them.
Right. I can understand that that's why that's their perspective on it. But I don't know.
No one is a good guy over there is my point here. There are no good guys in this fight. Israel's not the good guys. Hamas is not the good guys. No one's the good guys. It's all shit.
Yeah. But it's the nation that's like 50% kids that I'm like a bit more inclined to be like, you know.
Fair enough.
A lot more worried about.
I think we should worry about both, but yeah. Let's keep going.
Endorsement. He was speaking as a warning to them, which was apt.
Brother, that is insane.
What?
Nelson Mandela was literally on a terror watch list since 2008.
Who gives a fuck?
What do you mean who gives a fuck? You like to use the terrorism watch list when you talk about the Houthis, or you like to use the terrorist watch list when you talk about Hezbollah.
I gave you
Hamas.
specific examples of why those organizations are bad.
Who do you think who do you think the philosophical point that he was making, the guy who was in prison for violent resistance, by the way, who trained
violent resistance, you mean sabotage?
Ready for rebellion, by the way.
Sabotage
who
and
do you think
government
that was a warning to?
infrastructure.
Do you think that was a warning to Palestinians, or do you think that was a warning to
The fact that
Israel?
you are
Because
so
that
willing-
same Nelson Mandela has time and time again also repeated that no one is free until Palestine is free. That same Nelson Mandela that you're trying to fucking use in this situation has said that this is a united struggle, that Israel's actions against the Palestinians are abhorrent, that it is akin to what they have experienced in apartheid South Africa, if not worse. So the idea that you can make this comparison because you think it suits your fucking argument is so stupid. And the only way you can do that is by cutting it out of context.
No, I just explained why. Dude, I want Palestine to be free. But you know what? I don't think Hamas is furthering that goal. I think Hamas is counterproductive. They're making it worse. They're causing it to be inevitable. You refuse to criticize them, which is pathetic. Unlike me, I'm willing to criticize Israeli government. I'm willing to come to terms with the cruel reality.
We can understand why Hamas is making it worse, I hope, chat. I hope you understand why Hamas is making this worse. I hope this is something that we don't need to explain. I hope you can just see it. But if you need an explanation, I can tell you. But, yeah.
Hamas.
Walk through it. Why are they making it worse?
Well, what was the fucking objective there on October 7th, genius?
Kidnapping, which by the way I don't even agree with, which is an international human rights violation. But kidnapping Israeli soldiers, Israeli civilians to make to
and what part about that was slaughtering fucking families in their homes?
Ethan, I don't agree with the tactics. You know this already. We're not relitigating this over and over again.
I'm just saying, Hamas is
17 months of fucking genocide. Okay. What do you think?
One day you're gonna watch a video response I make.
Probably not. When you apologize for all the fucking harm that you've done.
Apologize? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Listen.
I have the rest of the clip.
It sounds like they both agree.
They do agree on this point, which is
they agree on this point, which is like human rights violations are bad.
But it's weird because Hasan just said from all the harm that you've done. Maybe he details it in the parts we skipped. But what harm has Ethan done here? I don't get it. What is the harm?
We needed someone we should have had someone so parasocial
that they could just
on this
lore
panel,
keeper.
that they would just lore dump like just like the most weirdest online person that we could find. It was like, well, actually, this happened and blah blah blah, like just.
Yeah, what is the harm that Ethan has done to, I'm assuming, the Palestinian cause? Or maybe he's just talking about something else. Again, maybe look, Monday we'll also cover this, gang, because my Monday, look, okay, just so you know, so my Monday debate with Misfit Patriot and Sean Farash on free speech has been pushed back a week because Pisco, who is my teammate, had an emergency flight he had to have that day. So we're going to push it back a week. And also, I might have a big announcement, a repeat appearance, but we're waiting on the final word from that. But that might be on the 23rd. I might be returning to Tim Pool's show. But again, that's not certain.
I need to watch your Tim Pool.
Yeah, I'm curious what you would think on that. As someone, again, who doesn't know the players involved, fresh eyes, you can maybe watch it sometime and let me know.
You talked to Ukraine with him, right?
Yes, Ukraine with Blackwood and Tim Pool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very uneducated about Ukraine and Russia, so I typically don't comment on it. I do know that Tim Pool is paid by Russia. However, I do know that. So I'm curious.
Allegedly. He says he did. He
allegedly.
said no. He says that he didn't know it was Russia that was paying him. So
he didn't. Okay, so he's either the world's biggest idiot or he's a liar.
So, yes, I went into the lion's den there. I had a debate with Lactoid. It ended up being a debate between me and Tim Pool in the last half. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed my time there. Check it out. I won't prime the pump, and you can tell me what your thoughts are. So
I will let you know, because that'll be interesting.
Yes, and don't hold back, because again, I have criticisms of some of my points there. It wasn't 100% dunk on every time, but I am like the problem with this space is no one will give you. It's hard to get real honest feedback, because you'll have the people who love you who will say you did great, and the people who hate you who said you suck. And there's just not much in between. There's some mixed. Like, I know some people who have hated me, right, who've tried to get me deplatformed, who said I did a really good job. But I also know there's some people who I consider friends who said I did bad. So it really hard to really.
I'll watch it, and I'll try to be.
Yeah, exactly. Give me your honest opinion, your honest feedback. So yeah. But yeah, let's. I might be going back on the 23rd. We'll find out. We'll get finalized. And we'll be debating free speech and the censorship of anti-Israel sentiment by the Trump administration, and how I feel that has horrible implications for freedom of speech in America, just in general. So, but anyway, let's finish this. Like, we can get the last 10 minutes, can't we? The last 10.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
That you clipped it, by the way, if you want to hear his actual fucking full-fleshed opinions.
I'm not hiding from it. I literally acknowledge what he said. I don't care.
But so why did you say that he was actually a peaceful resistance type of guy?
When the fuck did I say that, you liar?
You've said it on numerous occasions, as opposed to you said that on numerous occasions before someone told you, no, actually, here's a better way to massage that narrative.
I said he uses violent means such as sabotage. He didn't kill civilians. That's what I said.
Will you stop talking if I show you numerous instances where you have said Nelson Mandela was peaceful?
I'm not going to. You get those together, okay?
I mean,
You're going to do great. You're going to do great. Yeah, go ahead.
You literally said he was a pacifist.
I literally never said Nelson Mandela was a pacifist. That is an insane lie.
You said it to Sam Cedar 2 days ago.
So you got to watch that back, because you're once again a liar. You have no problem lying. You have no problem saying that I work with the ADO without any evidence. You fucking have no problem discrediting the suffering of Jewish refugees.
Nelson Mandela is a pacifist.
Okay, well, prove it.
And the full quote, by the way, of Nelson Mandela is from when he visited Gaza in 1999 that was referring to choose peace rather than confrontation, except in cases where we cannot move forward. Then, if the only alternative is violence, we will use violence. Yeah. Does that sound like a pacifist to you?
I meant that he didn't kill civilians. His approach is vastly different than what Hamas is doing.
Do you think Nelson Mandela would like what the Houthis are doing?
I don't know. Let's fucking dig him out of his grave and ask him.
That's kind of weird, because, I mean, you said he was doing peaceful means of resistance.
Do I think Nelson Mandela would be in favor of kidnapping 10 civilians? No, of course not.
Yes, he would. 100%.
All right, well, while you're busy putting words in a dead man's mouth.
100% he would.
I'm going to take the brave stance here that Nelson Mandela would not approve of the Houthis, considering they brought back slavery, right, to Yemen. They're pirates. They're bad guys. Doesn't mean the Yemeni government proper is good guys, mind you, right? Doesn't mean the Saudis are good guys, but Houthis are bad guys, right? We can understand that. But yeah, let's keep going.
What are you talking about? Nelson Mandela bombed the fucking church or shit. What are you talking about? Not Nelson Mandela directly in prison, but
fuck with civilians, bro. That was his thing. He wanted to be as peaceful as possible because he knew that if he killed and targeted civilians, it would make reunification impossible.
You're right.
That's
Israel's doing it because Palestinians are not resisting.
Less than 100 civilians died in a 20-year period. I mean, what do you want more than that? Hamas killed 1,000 or 900. So sorry.
800. But
I am so 800. You're right. You know what? That's better.
It's seemingly important. You're always bringing up numbers. Now, what you again fail to recognize is, of course, the length. And not only that, but also the resistance against apartheid South Africa included military resistance on top of that. But that's not even my point here, okay?
Huh?
My point is that the apartheid in South Africa and the resistance against it was a far shorter period with far less casualties on the South African side, as opposed to Israel's complete ethnic cleansing campaign that has started now, but even before its ethnic cleansing campaign.
Then don't compare Hamas to Nelson Mandela.
Because the situation is far worse, Ethan. Because Israel has killed every Nelson Mandela. Israel would have probably killed Nelson Mandela if they had the opportunity to do so.
I'm sure they would have done everything bad that's ever happened in the world.
Wait.
I heard Nelson Mandela was trained by Mossad, honestly. I don't know how true that is, but I hear that they actually trained him, like they helped kind of that fight a little bit. I'll have to look more into it. I don't.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, I hear that like there were some Israeli airlines who would fly them while they were doing their stuff, right? Again, he has a complex relationship with Israel. It's not.
It's also kind of goofy because it's like the dude is dead.
Yep.
And I don't think any of us can claim to know what he would think about this event or what he would say.
Situation. But we all like to use our heroes. It's like the people who keep appealing to Martin Luther King Jr. that would definitely support my cause, right? Martin Luther King Jr., right? And would definitely support my political position now. Easy to say when the guy's in the ground. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know why I said that? No, don't look at your laptop. Do you know why I said that?
Let me guess. You, I don't, tell me.
No, go ahead. Just throw up a guess.
All right, listen, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not doing this, okay? You can tell me or you cannot.
Okay.
You want to, I'll stand here if you want to tell me, but I'm not going to sit here and play rhetorical games.
Israel was aligned with South Africa, the apartheid government.
Yeah, I know. They made nuclear bombs with them. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Israel was aligned with South Africa, the apartheid government? I don't think so. I could be wrong. Again, I won't die on this hill. I might just be wrong. So, yeah.
What's that have to do with anything, fuckhead?
Yeah.
When did I defend that?
Well, they're both apartheids, so.
Yeah, and when did I deny that? All right, listen, it's 5 o'clock.
Know.
Like I said, I have a family to go to. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I know that you have a fucking cool-ass race car bed to sleep in, and I hope you enjoy that. And
okay, man. Thank you. Have a good one. I hope this was productive. Dan, he needs you more than you need him. Stop babying this man, please. He needs you more than you need him. Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on. Okay. All right.
You want to target the crew more? You want to
drum up
the crew?
These were my coworkers. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the crew.
Hey,
they
Bad
are
Empanada called AB a house slave.
What?
Bad Empanada called AB a house slave.
Yeah, he's wrong. What the fuck do you want?
Okay, well, you watch his videos a lot.
Why are you bringing up Bad Empanada? Do you think I agree with everything he says? No, of course not.
You endorse him.
Who the
Ethan,
fuck is Bad Empanada?
Bad Empanada is a whole can of worms. He's a serial kind of doxer guy. He's pretty much a bad dude. But yeah. Gambit's game says he's fun. Maybe. But he's not a good guy, and he's yeah. So But yeah, it's easy to condemn, like, Bad Empanada is so bad that Hasan will condemn Bad Empanada, but he won't condemn Hamas. Just FYI, that's how bad Bad Empanada is, okay? That Hasan finds it easier to condemn him than he does to condemn Hamas, but yeah.
You gotta go. You promote him all the time, it's a fact.
That I agree with, that I think are very well thought out.
Right,
I don't
stop being a coward and watch some fair criticism.
Overall.
Please stop being a coward and just watch some criticism. It will prove that you're not afraid.
This was pretty good. This was pretty productive. You know, having this conversation, having this back and forth. Don't you think?
I actually do. I think you exposed yourself deeply a few times here, and I think we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how this pans out. But I do think it was productive to show just kind of the blatant, overt, anti-Semitism.
Maybe I will watch the Context Puke.
Yes, please, and then we can talk
about it. Maybe I will watch
Context
Puke live, as a matter of fact, not in a cowardly way. I like that this is what it's come to, where having a face-to-face conversation is less. It's somehow less fucking is more cowardly than like actually watching a YouTube video that you made.
It is
dude. What's cowardly is you fucking constantly crying and refusing to actually look for context and putting together a
Okay, they're just gonna insult each other. So, what did we learn, gang? We learned that nothing productive happened here, at least not in the positions we saw. There was no productivity, but it wasn't even really fun content. I'm gonna be real with you. It was kind of cringe. It was hard to watch.
My opinion of both of them fell. I was like, wow, these guys kind of suck. And there's so much ego here, and this was just embarrassing, and it was weird. It was weird and embarrassing. I don't like to see two grown men scrap.
Yeah, neither looked good in this. I don't think Ethan came out looking good, and he looked too aggressive, especially at first. But and here's the thing. I think Ethan's correct in his assessment here. I understand why he's so angry, and I understand why he's so upset. But I don't know, man. Like, if I'm giving you a grade, like, okay, man, that was a little too much. Tone it down. It could be much more effective if you just were more professional.
Yeah, that's what bothered me. Is like neither of them were professional. This was personal beef. that was aired out to everyone. And frankly, makes me feel like after watching this, I'm like, I don't really get the sense that either of them care very much about Israel or Palestine. I think that they wanted to dunk on each other, and this is a, you know, let me.
Yeah, I just ended because I'm not watching any more of that. Not right now. I might watch. Look, we're gonna watch the rest Monday, gang. And I'll just do it on my own, and we'll go through. But finish your point.
Did you have fun?
Did you have fun?
I did. This was weird.
It was weird. I don't usually do React content. I think React content is the lowest form of content. It is embarrassing content. It is bad content. It is lazy content. But I did it for you, the fans, because I knew everyone was going to be talking about this, and I knew everyone wanted to see it. And I honestly was curious what someone who wasn't very involved with the drama at all and who wasn't a big fan of Ethan or a big fan of Hasan and was just kind of more of a neutral eyes. I wanted to get your opinion, and I do appreciate you coming on, spending your Friday evening watching this slop with me.
Thank you for inviting me. I'll watch like video essays sometimes on stream. And that is React content, but it's not like, I don't know. I try to be.
Look, you're better than that because you come on my show sometimes to do actual content, which is conversations, right? It doesn't have to be a debate. It can be conversations. So.
Yes. Well, it's more. You may not know this, but I have a master's. So I try to engage with topics that I'm educated on, so I can be like
master's in literature, correct?
Fantasy literature,
Fantasy literature specifically. You know what? Actually, I know a lot of Lord of the Rings nerds. I know some of them who would. Well, let me ask you this: a lot of people say Tolkien was racist. Do you agree or disagree?
Ooh, that could be a huge conversation.
Give me your TLDR now. We won't do the conversation now.
TLDR is yes.
I can bring you on people if you want to fight about it.
Way less racist than many people of his time, and at the end of the day, seemed to have a good heart.
Okay.
And but it was more just like that's such a complicated question, and Tolkien scholars debate that to this day. That is a very contentious topic.
Maybe because if you still want to come on Wednesday, maybe we can have like a Lord of the Rings discussion or discussion on fantasy literature and the themes that it presents and how it's influenced modern media and modern storytelling. Because I do find that very interesting. There's a lot of debates about like, are orcs racist? Are, video games, D&D, has it gone woke, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And I don't know if you have big thoughts on that or not, but it might be worth a discussion.
I did. That was, that was again a huge topic in grad school.
Yeah.
And kind of the I would say the central issue that fantasy scholars are talking about currently. Like, is fantasy racist? Like, what?
It might be, but is that okay? I think it'd be okay.
It might be okay. Yeah. I have so many that this would hours. Wick,
that would be
don't
content,
get me started.
Then. Well,
because I won't stop.
We'll tell you what. We'll talk about all things fantasy literature on Wednesday. Is that cool?
Hell yeah. I'm so down.
Awesome. For now, though, where can people find you? And what are your closing thoughts on this?
I'm on Twitch as Enemy Charlie most of the time. I'm on Kick right now just because I feel like it's easier to talk about politics on here, especially Israel-Palestine, without getting like dookied on. And yeah, mostly I do a lot of e-girl shit, but I try to talk academia too. Sometimes I do politics.
What's e-girl shit?
Like anonymous confessions, those sorts of things. It ends up just me yelling at. It's
fair enough.
Anyway,
Karen.
what about you? I have your links here, but where are you usually? Twitch, YouTube?
I'm on YouTube and Twitch, and I do have a Kick, but no one watches me on Kick. Like I have like one viewer, one lone viewer on Kick. Most of my viewership's on YouTube and Twitch. I do well. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen Carly's content, you've seen her on my show before. I do debates, I do conversations, I do call-ins, right? I do have a segment that I like to do that I haven't done in a while called "Get It Off Your Chest." I don't know if it's an e-girl shit exactly, but people call in.
That's kind of e-girly.
Is
All
it
right,
e-girl
Whick, I
shit?
see you.
Yeah.
In the e-girl minds. I dig it.
You know what? I got that the wavelength. You tune in, okay? You gotta understand your no, never mind. I won't say it that way. But you gotta understand. Yeah, exactly. You gotta understand the mind, right?
Get in their heads.
The zone, exactly.
To farm the subs.
I'm one of the good ones, apparently, according to my chat. One of the good e-girls. Is that true? Okay, fair. I do feel like it. Look, I'll tell you this. People flying me out, which has happened a few times in my career, where people I'll buy you a plane ticket and we'll come to like Tim Pool did this. He flew me out to his place.
Oh my
I do
God.
feel like an e-girl. I do feel like an e-girl.
I've never been flown out in my life. How do you start getting flown out? What
I don't know. Like do you get gifts? I got people who said like all this, except for the controller here. This is gifts that have been given to me by my community, right? They just send me shit.
Gifts.
They send me like hoodies and stuff to wear. I got a dragon hoodie. I got like a American flag hoodie. But yeah.
I got a Jabba the Hutt ornament and a Gollum ornament, and then I got a really snazzy box set of the Lord of the Rings that was like fancy as fuck. Ooh. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, okay. And they're surprisingly not creepy. I haven't received a creepy gift yet, which is great.
Knock on wood.
But, I know, fuck. I don't have any wood, but you did it. We're good.
It's okay. I did it for you. Knock on wood, right? Okay. Yeah. But check her out, gang. I have a link to her Twitch in my description, which you can go and you can click on that link and you can follow her and you can see all her eagle shit. And she is going to be coming back on next week on the 7th to have apparently a discussion on fantasy literature and things like that. And I'll get some nerds. for you, and we'll have this discussion.
Hell yeah. Get some dorks, and same ditto to my Kick people. Follow Whick. He's cool as fuck. He hosts political debates all the time and they rock.
That's right. Okay. With that, we are ending the stream. We are going away, and I will see you guys on Monday, where we will finish watching what we didn't hear. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.